Hello everyone, and welcome to Endangered Species. Yes, this is a tabletop role-playing show where myself and a group of other people here are about to be tormented. We're going to play the Mothership tabletop role-playing game. Thank you very much for checking out this show and this little mini-series, and if you hopefully will entertain you and maybe even have you on the edge of your seat and wondering more about this game we're about to play. But if you do enjoy it, please like and subscribe and follow the show, do all that good stuff. It really helps. Yep, down below I'll figure out some sort of graphic. I'm a simple man. But who am I? Yes, my name is Vince Hunt, and I'm the Warden / Games Master for this show, and I'm very pleased to be joined by 4 awesome players for this series. People who've signed up for a few game nights full of suspense, action, maybe even a little bit of stress. Lizzie, say nothing. And who are these players? Well, allow me to introduce them to you. Firstly, we have a Safe Space regular, podcaster, writer, and someone who I've witnessed many times actually talk to their dice. It's Lizzie Boyle.
Hey! Hello.
Have you spoken?
Who doesn't talk to their dice?
I know. I realised when I wrote it, I thought I'd do that as well. But,
okay, if you're not talking to your dice, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. I think.
And if they're not talking back, they're not doing it right either.
I think that may be a sign of other issues.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Also, right, next up is the artist of the comic series, NPCT, gamer, and tabletop sunbeam, known as Sarah Millman.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome.
Sunbeam, eh?
Yeah.
That's a big.
Well, in the character creation, I think I dropped that you would actually, you're in a roundabout way responsible for this kind of stuff happening, because you got me like onto D&D and then it just spiraled into this. So, Lizzie, you've got Sarah to blame for all that I've done.
Say?
Hi.
Welcome.
I shall blame you later, Sarah.
And who else have we got? Well, rounding out our cast, and not one, but 2 gentlemen who are no strangers to sci-fi, and you may recognise them from the podcast, The Measure of a Fan. It's the one and only Eliot Red and Matt Troy. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey guys, it's us, the Star Trek boys.
And so much more than that.
There's the
You're
T-shirt.
a Star Trek man.
There's the yeah. I'm a man, not a boy. Yes. Welcome to the show. All these new players. Obviously, Lizzie. Anyone who's watched Safe Space will know that Lizzie is a regular on the main.
I'm back
on the main series. But no, we've drafted in new players, and they're already concerned. They haven't even played a session with me as a warden yet, and they've already expressed a lot of concern. Before we kick off the game, what do you guys? Obviously, this is science fiction and horror. How do you all feel about like sci-fi and horror? Are you fans of that sort of genre and that sort of content?
Hell
it's
yeah!
the best thing a person can do if they do it properly.
Don't put that pressure on me. I can't handle that.
Just before this very session, we were all having a conversation about the game Alien Isolation, based off one of the best sci-fi horror genres. Like series of films that's out there. So yeah, I think we're all pretty big sci-fi horror fans.
I mean, if there were musical numbers, it would just, lift the whole thing. But I appreciate that, it's early days. Episode 1, you don't want to go big too early. So,
Yeah, we've got to save that for the end, the big song and dance number.
Yeah.
If it was made by DreamWorks.
Don't tempt
That's
me.
the credit sequence.
Yeah.
Everyone comes back to life and starts dancing.
Yeah.
To a popular music song.
To a popular beat combo.
To what the children call a popular music song.
Yeah. But
You might call it a bop.
this is a serious science fiction horror game we're playing, people.
There's no bopping in this show.
There'll be no bopping here.
There may be some mashed potato. And perhaps doing the twist.
Oh dear.
Obviously the time warp. It's sci-fi. Come on.
The thing is, get it all out of your systems. No. I love these guys.
Assuming that is possible.
Yeah.
It doesn't come out of the system, it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And that's why
It's a circle of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally is. Especially when you're warden to these sorts of players. But as we said, this is science fiction and horror. And this is a sci-fi horror game. So as a content warning, before we kick off, there may be depictions of violence, gore, psychological trauma, maybe there's drug use, stress, panic, all kinds of things. Anything can happen in this game. And it may not be suitable for all audiences. And sometimes I like to describe some pretty grisly things or monsters or that kind of stuff. If that's not your type of entertainment, thank you very much for joining. And we understand if you pull the ripcord and leave now. And as a GM, as a responsible GM, I've talked to all my players beforehand, and they let them know that if there's anything too much, they can just let me know, and we can cut back on it and pull back and anything like that. Which is what all people running games and players should do anyway. Just make sure we're all on the same page. So, but other than that, I think everything's covered. Everyone's got their character sheets. Everyone's got their dice. As if this is your first time checking out one of these streams, I will be. Eliot's already.
I fell over. I'm sorry.
So exciting!
Yes, so excited. Obviously, I will be talking through some of the mechanics as we play as well, because it's the first time some of these players have played. And also, if you lovely people at home, if you want to know how some of the mechanics work. I also sometimes throw a little homebrew in there and twist. I could be. Maybe I'm too lenient. Maybe I'm too harsh. Who knows? Let me know in the comments. No, please. Don't be mean to me. But without, I saw that, Lizzie. Yeah, you heard. Without further ado, then, I think it's time to start the engines. Get those pulse rifles ready, as we're going to start with part 1 of Endangered Species. We open on a swirling mass of tumultuous clouds in various shades of emerald greens and dark blues. There's a flash and lightning crackles through the sky, followed by the loud rumble of thunder. On the screen we see the words Ostillis, the Median system. As the thunder continues, rumbling onwards longer than expected, we suddenly realise that we aren't hearing thunder as such. This isn't the sound of an aggressive weather call, but instead the sounds of a dropship engine. A large materialistic looking vessel sails into view. Not a gunship made for war, but certainly a vessel made for difficult situations. This is a Sky Talon, the go-to dropship for the Armorsight Syndicate. In the cockpit, 2 pilots check readouts and hold the ship steady as it drops lower from the atmosphere above. Lightning crackles through the air above them. They wear bulky pilot helmets with holographic displays and visors. One of them wears a helmet that's also emblazoned with the logo of what looks like a Valkyrie riding a winged Pegasus emblazoned on the side of her helmet, and the name Chuck in bold type across the top. She continues to adjust settings as she keeps a firm grip on the control stick. She's trying to keep the talons steady, and it's sort of shaking. She doesn't look over as she acknowledges her co-pilot. I've seen some nasty weather in my time, but nothing like this. I'm going to take her lower to see if we can get out of this chop. If this gets any rougher, it might take both of us to control her, Vig. You better get on the radio and tell them to buckle up back there. It's then that the pilot looks to her left at her co-pilot, who is, well, Matt. What is the co-pilot doing? And what does this person look like?
He is sat in his co-piloting chair. He's kind of burly, surly, full of vigor. He's got a beard. He's got messy hair. He's got stained overalls. Yeah, he looks like a guy who's seen a few things, if you know what I mean. Like a guy with eyes that's used them too often.
Is he wearing like a helmet, or is his?
He's got a helmet on with a little eye display, and I think the helmet has got the call sign VIG emblazoned across the front, and painted down the side. He has got his catchphrase, which also appears on his patch, which is the word FUBAR, which we all know what means.
There may be some cursing in this series, just to let you know, but we're not going to do it just yet. We're not that kind of show.
Flipped up beyond all recognition.
Yeah. And what is your character's name?
Vigorous Blouse.
Or Vig to his friends.
Oh, just Vig for short, yeah. His parents were non-theistic exo-Quakers who named him after the ship, the SS Vigorous, that took them to their colony of New Upstate New York decades ago.
So you can see the pilot Chuck is the whole ship is sort of shuddering and shaking. This is bad turbulence. As after Chuck tells you that, she goes back and she's still trying to control it. What do you do, Vic? She just told you she just told you, like, send a message. She's controlling the stick.
Oh, so, right, okay.
So it's like let them know they're gonna have to buckle up back there.
Press the intercom button, and I'm gonna say.
And the crackle in the back, the radio sort of crackles on.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. But what do they hear?
They hear the voice of Vigorous Blouse, and I'm saying. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Vig. I hope you're all awake and happy. We are approaching our destination and suffering through a little bit of turbulence. So I'd appreciate it if y'all put your seatbelts on, sit back and relax, and we'll get you to the ground.
And as you sort of switch the intercom off and you just look at Chuck, she doesn't look. She's looking at you. When you turn back to look at her, she gives you a brief look, and then you can't see her eyes with the visor, but you see her sort of shake her head like. She goes back to.
You hate my shtick.
And we cut to the back, where a group of soldiers are sat in the back of this dropship. You can imagine it's a sort of a large, spacious vessel, and they're all sort of sitting in a line, or some of them are milling around, sort of facing it. You know, they're sitting in a line, but sort of facing each other. From the company logo adorning their armour that we see, they're recognisable as an Armour Site Syndicate platoon. This particular group is an R&R squad. They specialise in rescue, retrieval and support missions. Usually dangerous stuff being dropped into very dangerous places. But these are the people you want. If you desperately want to get something back home safely. Some are checking their gear, some are idling, just sort of some look bored, one looks a bit tired. They look fairly nonchalant about it, but a couple of them sort of look around, and as the ship sort of shakes, one of the squad who has like a medical cross with the words High Noon across the middle of her helmet, she's sort of fidgeting with the sort of wrist device she's wearing, sort of tapping at it. And these devices are used by some armor sight soldiers, as well as like monitoring squad vitals. They have a number of other uses, basically like an amazing army watch, or like that Pip-Boy from the Fallout games, if you know those sort of. The woman grimaces as she tweaks some switches and presses some buttons before she looks over to another one of the squad who is sat a little bit separately from the rest of everyone else, and she's trying to get their attention as everything's sort of shaking. Harper! Hey Harper! My wrist unit is playing up. Can I get a little help, please? As we focus on the figure that they're talking to, you can see a couple of cables extending from the back of their neck actually into the wall of the dropship. As this figure turns to look in the direction of this soldier. Sarah, what does this figure look like?
Right, so Harper is an android. She's a recycled android, so there's lots of parts of her that kind of look a bit off, kind of uncanny valley almost. She also has, instead of her left eye, she's got a big kind of like camera kind of lens that sometimes that makes it a little bit eerie, moves independently of her other eye to focus on other things. And she's got faint lines. You can see all the parts that have kind of been put.
There's sort of like connection bits, as if like
the
jaw would move, and like if she needs work done.
And everything just looks a little bit like dusty in a bit, from older units that have been patched together. On her armor as well, I think on the back, which might have come from a different iteration of this unit, it's written "Game Over," but someone has tried to like scrub off, so it bodes well.
And Harper is wearing sort of, whereas the rest are wearing sort of tactical sort of like full-on armor with helmets and stuff. Harper has similar, but not quite the same. It's just more of a sport droid.
Kind of disposable.
Don't say that. Don't say that to me, Sarah. Don't say that to me. So as you see this figure sort of waving to you and like sort of pointing to this, it's not as big as a Pip-Boy, but it's more of like a army unit. She's having problems with it. She's calling you over. You'd have to disconnect yourself from the currently you're connected in, so it's not like you know exactly all the readings, but it's just keeping you sort of switched on. But rather than heading over to you, she's trying to call you over. I can't get this thing to work. Can you?
Is she belted in? Is she put a seatbelt on?
She looks like she has belted in. She's one of the ones that is a little more sort of skittish around. She's a little less casual about like seatbelt safety. She's, so she's like, she wants to be, but she's just noticed something's going on.
Is this the medic?
This is indeed the medic.
Okay. Harper's going to turn around. Like, all of her movements are quite slow and a bit, a bit too steady. And she kind of looks over and her camera kind of focuses on her and she goes, Private Kapoor, please remain seated while the dropship is in motion. I will have a look at your unit once we've landed. And then she just looks straight forward.
But I just don't...
Private Kapoor, please remain seated while the dropship is in motion.
I'm not taking my seatbelt off. I haven't... I just need you to... Anybody? You see some of the other soldiers sort of go, just forget about it, Kapoor. Just forget about it. She'll figure out that goddamn contraption when we've landed. But
Look, I'm charging, all right?
So you're staying plugged in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And while this is going on, there's a couple of other figures as the camera pans across from Harper. You see another couple of figures just sort of talking. One of them is wearing a sort of like military like cap. You know, they've got the full armor, but they seem to be, there's some furs around it, some scars on their face. You can see on part of their sort of chest wear there is like sort of painted bullets on it and things like that. And you see the name Baronova written on there. A lot of the soldiers, their name is seen imprinted on like a sort of a neck collar type bit. And they're sat next to another soldier as everything's sort of shuddering. And they look up at them and go, "So, old man, this is your first time with us, yes? I have heard some things about you. Is it true, you are as lucky as your name says it is? Huh? Are you lucky, old man?" And he sort of taps on the armor. And what does this figure look like, and what is their name, Lizzie?
This is Frank Day, Lance Corporal Frank Day, known to everyone as Lucky. He is dressed in his kit, but he's also got a pair of aviators from somewhere. And he just takes them off, and these just cool blue eyes, the most beautiful eyes you've ever seen, in the most beautiful man face you've ever seen. It's Robert Redford in sneakers, which is a very specific niche thing, but it's just the guy who's just kind of into his 40s, maybe heading towards 50. All the kind of young handsomeness has matured into something really stunningly handsome and crinkly around the edges and a bit tousled. And I know I'm getting a bit warm. Whee! I'm in love with myself now. And he's in his full uniform. He's got a cap on. Tucked into the band around the cap is a playing card, which is the Ace of Hearts. And he's sort of he is standing.
Okay.
Maybe holding on to something, like, on the underground. Okay. Just holding on to a little thing. But he's standing up because, yeah, I've been lucky all my life.
Well, it seems like you have lived quite a long life. This is good. This is good. We need someone like you. We need a little bit of luck now and then. I mean, if you look at Harper, she looks like she needs some luck now and then. You don't have a problem with androids, though? No, she is good android.
She looks like she's many good androids, kind of made into one great one.
Hey, that is all you'll need. One great one. That is all you'll need.
Yeah.
So maybe I should stick with you, huh? If you are the lucky one.
Well, you don't get to be an old man in this job without some luck.
You seem pretty comfortable. I mean, this ship is shaking like a maraca. It is. Have you been on many dropships?
There ain't
before?
No horse that can't be tamed, as someone from a different place in America once said to me.
Have you? I have not ever seen a horse.
Are you aware of the concept of a horse?
I know what a horse is.
Well, there you go.
As we pan away from this. And you can see some of the other soldiers are like checking their gear, and they're sort of loading it. And there's different sorts of sort of weapons there. You can see that this lot are coming. They're ready. There's some pulse rifles. Some have some larger sort of smart rifles. One or two have a shotgun. I'm not sure. Harper, did you have any weapons?
Not visibly.
Right, well, if that's not the scariest part of this week's episode, I don't know what it is. Oh, I almost got everyone to roll a panic check then.
She's got a tranquilizer pistol, but she won't be holding that. Like, it's not like.
Yeah, you don't just wave one of them around.
I'll just go woo.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
remain seated.
Yeah.
Getting tranquilized.
And we sort of pan across and we see a bulkier looking soldier with a sort of shaven head, and they look pretty stocky, pretty wide, like a brick wall. They've got staff sergeant stripes on their gear, and they're talking to one of their officers before nodding and patting them on the shoulder, and then before heading further in. And that soldier stood there. There's Eliot. You look down and you can see there's one of the younger troops there. He's sort of sat. He hasn't buckled up his seat yet, but he's sort of like he's looking a little pale face, and as the ship's sort of shaking, he's like, what does your character look like, and what is their name?
My character's name, as far as anyone is aware, is JACKAL. And he looks like a rip-off of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Slightly more dull, slightly more good-looking, brown eyes, dark eyebrows, sort of short hair.
Universal Soldier era.
Exactly. The face where you could say any age between 30 and 50 and feel like you were correct. Like,
that's a hell of a face.
Well, it's the kind of face where it's like he's been in a few scrapes, he's got some marks here and there and some lines, but you can't tell if he's a young person who's been aged or an old person who's aging well. You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like,
and you would know that the
so
soldier you're looking down at is this is Pell Lindbergh, who's also has the call sign Avocado.
Avocado. Okay.
Well, he's looking a little pale face like.
Yeah, okay, so JACKAL, before he notices this, he was head down puffing a cigarette because he likes to keep his head clear before missions. He just likes to have nothing in his head.
The sergeant had a brief moment with you just to double check everything was all good, and then moved on.
So JACKAL looks up and sees Avocado, pale-faced, obviously nervous, and goes, "Hey, Avocado.
Huh?
You nervous?"
Yeah, is it always this turbulent? I haven't...
Hey, look. Are you really worried about the turbulence?
Fuck yeah.
Or are you expecting something?
I wasn't expecting to be... I wasn't expecting this. This isn't... They don't mention this in the manuals.
No, they don't. Look,
this isn't like the simulations at all.
No, it sure ain't, and it never will be. Look, let me give you some sound advice, Avocado. Don't expect anything. Just get it out of your head. Okay. Fluffy white clouds. That's all you got to think about right now, because that's all that matters right now.
Fluffy white clouds don't feel like this, sir. I feel like I'm going to upchuck at any moment.
Well, we got bags for that, right? There's bags for that, right? Harper, there's bags for that, right?
You see a couple of the soldiers go...
Ah, shit.
Corporal Archer, there are bags for that.
And you hear a voice in the back going, "Since when the fuck have we had bags for that?" Oh God, yeah. I think I'll be okay.
Look, just try to stay calm, okay?
Yeah.
Try not to make a mess. Please don't make a mess.
Okay. No messes. Okay. And he's there, buckling up. No messes. Fluffy clouds.
Count the clouds, Corporal. Count the clouds.
Oh God, I feel sick.
Okay, stop counting the clouds. Stop.
Oh God. As the ship shakes again. And as this is going on and all the other soldiers sort of milling around, some of them are laughing at what's just happened. what just took place. The sergeant steps up and sort of stands probably about 10 feet away from where you are, Lucky. It's great having call signs because I can just call everyone by their call signs. And he's kind of near you as well, Archer, as he sort of looks to the rest, the entire sort of unit there. Okay, people, listen up. We're all there for the briefing. But in case any of you are sleeping in class, let me remind you that today is nothing more than a retrieval op. When we drop in, we'll have a short trek to Linnaeus 7. Once there, we round up the whitecoats and get them moving. I don't care if they insist on heading back for the personal belongings. Fuck them. Our job is to go in and get them out. Now, Harper here will be handling the data backup and retrieval when we get there. Archer, Lindbergh, you'll be sticking with her for any assistance she may need. Jackal, you look down and you see Lindbergh like...
Pull it together.
Now, before I go further, do we have any questions? Looks out to the squad. Any questions?
Do I get a gun?
What's the distance and the terrain that we're facing here?
I mean, this is a heavy jungle planet, so we'll be dropping in. We'll have about an 8-click trek from the landing zone. So it's not going to be comfortable, but we don't get paid for comfortable. But look, they've had a couple of outposts on this rock for a few years now. So apart from that terrain, and there is some hazardous fauna, so don't go picking flowers while you're here. There've been no reports of any indigenous life forms, so we don't have to worry about that. However, I do like to come prepared, which is why you're all packing heat. Archer.
Do we have intel on the number of survivors?
Well, as far as I know, none of them are dead yet. We didn't, because of this storm, and the whole ship sort of rocks again. Although the sergeant looks like he's not holding on to anything, he's just moving there, and he's like a rock that seems to just move as the ship moves. We have a mayday. They want to get off this rock as soon as possible. We didn't get any confirmation on any deaths, as far as I know. They have a crew of 10 and an android. So we just got to get out as many as we can. We'll assess the situation when we get there. We're not getting paid overtime for this, everyone. So I expect you to do your jobs with the utmost efficiency. Do them like you've been trained to do, and we'll be back home kicking back and sipping cocktails in no time. Is that clear?
Aye.
Sir.
And in the cockpit, Vig, you can hear the... You can hear that... You can't hear everything that's said. But Chuck's there, sort of like still trying to... This is the pre-drop pep talk, I'm guessing then, Vig. It's always the same no matter what we do, isn't it?
Always the same. Same old crap.
You can't move for all the fucking testosterone in this ship. She's there trying to... She's fighting. You can tell she's fighting it. And above you, you see... You can see it's lighting up the sky. Have you ever driven somewhere in a really bad lightning storm? And I did once. I was on the road and above me the cloud lit up as lightning sort of crossed them. It was beautiful. Terrified. Absolutely terrified. So this is happening all the time. This is a pretty turbulent electrical storm. So you know you've got to be pretty switched on for this, Vig. As this is happening. Yeah, she's fighting me. I think I'm going to need your help in a minute, Vig. We should be there. We should be there shortly.
Sure, what you need, Skip?
Well, as always, my friend, I scream, you come running.
Aye.
Just don't go anywhere. In the back, There's a few more soldiers just who are starting to sort of clip up their seatbelts. Harper, you're still plugged in. Jackal and Lucky, what are you doing?
I'm awaiting further instructions, basically.
You felt the ship lower down a bit more as well. You feel that going down in a lift. Yeah, your stomach turns.
Starting to get ready. Yeah, starting to get a gear on and everything, making sure I've got everything, double checks and all that. Yeah.
Lucky's going to go over to. This is. Oh my god, a sentence. Lucky's going over to Avocado. And he's just going to kind of lean down slightly in front of him, put a hand on his shoulder. Go. You got this, son. You got this.
Thanks. As
and then step back quite quickly just in case he hasn't got it.
I won't make you roll for that. Not yet.
I really wish I didn't pick an android, because there is an obvious joke of the Avocado is looking a little green.
Yeah, I know.
You could totally. I tell you what.
You got the stones for this, Avocado.
You could totally play it. You could say that, and Harper just won't understand why it's funny. You're looking a little green. Oh, fuck you. As everyone's sort of settling down, suddenly there's a boom. There's an enormous explosion that rocks the ship. Vig, in the cockpit, before it happened, seconds before it happened, you saw from the light, like as the electrical storm kicked off, a bolt of lightning and hit the ship, causing like the ship completely shakes. Sergeant goes over. He told anyone. I tell you what, let's make a roll. Who wasn't strapped in?
I don't know. I think you said I was standing.
You were standing. You didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't say that you were sat down. So, I would say make a body save. Oh, the first thing that's going to happen. Yeah, actually, make a body save. Yeah.
We add things to saves,
You can do if you've got something that's relevant.
like athletics,
It won't be allowed for this one because it happens just.
military training.
I think it'll be a straight roll for this one.
Oh, God.
Harper, you need to make me a body save. Because you did not unplug yourself.
No, I didn't. Why would I?
Why would you? It's almost like they don't expect me to do things like this.
Oh no, wait, hold on. I rolled the wrong dice.
Hey! For anyone watching, with Mothership, it's a D100 system. Everyone has stats for both the normal stats and they have saving stats. It's a D100 system, but you need to roll below your stat. Now, you can add skills to it, but in this instance, they can't really add anything to it because this is just being dropped on them, so they don't expect it. It's almost a surprise round. But let's see what. And then when you fail it, you get a point of stress. But let's see how the players did. Lucky, did you succeed? What did you get?
So I was trying to get below a 31,
Yeah.
and I got a 55.
You take a point of stress,
Yep.
and you go over. You go over. You've hit
It's
the
a
deck.
critical fail.
55. You hit the deck.
He's going to hurl on me, isn't he? Red dice, bad dice.
Okay. I need to think about this. Critical fail. Something bad really happens. Obviously, with a critical fail, you need to roll a panic roll
Oh, yeah.
whenever you get a critical fail.
Hey, and I need to be above my current stress level.
Yes.
Current stress
That
level
is the only roll in.
3.
It's 1 to 20. You have levels of panic in Mothership. When I ask you to do a panic roll, you roll a d20. The only time you go roll a d20, so you want to pick one that you're scared of. And you have to roll above whatever your current stress level is. Otherwise, you suffer the effects.
That was a 10, so I'm okay.
10, you're fine. You do not panic, but you do hit the deck hard. Really hard. Do you... And it's a... I'm going to say you take 2 points of damage. And I would say take that, because I know that you got armor, but you weren't wearing a helmet, so you probably cracked... Because with the critical fail, you cracked your head. So immediately you... Yeah. Immediately you hit the wall. You slid and hit the wall.
If you were studying closely and not being shook around in a spaceship, you might see that his face just went a little bit. Just a tiny micro expression of
absolute panic. Absolute panic. Jackal, what did you get?
I got 70, which is a lot higher than my body.
Yeah. So you don't take any damage because it wasn't a critical fail, but you fall prone as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and this whole thing lurches. Absolutely lurches. Harper, what did you get?
Well, initially I rolled an 11, and then I realised I rolled a d20 and not the d100. So I got 65.
So that's a fail. Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
You were strapped in. You don't fall prone. But there's an electrical charge that hits you in the back of your head for 3 points of damage. This will negate. You've still got your armor points. You've still got the 7 points of armor. But because this is immediately taking it off, because it just went straight into your head, and you know immediately if you don't disconnect yourself soon, it's going to keep going, and it could overload.
Well, obviously, I just rip it out. Really quickly.
You just like not even. As you see, like as this thing's lurching, Harper just rips it out with a probably not even appropriately. She didn't disconnect the USB before she removed it. So just
Nope.
So she's probably lost some Excel spreadsheets. I don't know. No, I shouldn't joke about things like that.
Lost all my cookies. All gone. Where are my cookies?
Serious matter, Vince. Hundreds of Excel sheets are lost every day across all the country.
Yeah, I think, as a GM, you've crossed the line now.
I'm sorry.
Geez,
I'm sorry. I didn't know the line I was going to cross was Excel. And this is chaos now. Everyone in this ship needs to make a panic roll. That's including you, Vig. Obviously, you don't have... You've only got 2 stress at the moment. That could change in a minute.
Okay.
So just roll your d20, roll it above whatever your current stress is. Jackal, you're now 3 because you failed your roll. So.
Oh, okay. My stress went up to 3 when I went prone. Did it?
Yeah.
Every time you fail your roll, you gain. You would in this situation when I say gain a point of stress.
Right.
Sometimes I think in the manual it says every time you make a roll, but I don't. You're not going to get stressed if you just pick the wrong sandwich. Do you know what I mean? Not that I'd get you to roll for that. That'd be the most insane roll impossible.
Russian roulette with sandwiches.
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean, Avocado could have had a bad sandwich, and that's why he's feeling a bit,
Yeah.
Maybe he's allergic to egg and didn't realise there was egg in there.
Don't mess with the buffet.
All right. So I have to roll my D10, and it's gonna double.
No, you just roll. Have you got a D20? Have you got the D20?
Yeah, I think so.
You could roll.
How many sides has it got? 20.
Yeah. Just roll.
How many sides has a d20 got? 20?
20. That's the one. Roll that, beauty.
Okay, here we go.
You got to get
2.
You rolled a 2.
Yes.
Oh. He immediately panics. So basically, with this, it's quite natural actually. You gain a point of stress, and you're anxious. So just bear that in mind. Sometimes these results are flavour things. Yes, Sarah's wearing a shirt that says anxiety on it, which I may inflict upon them. I'm so sorry to all my players. Already, it's happening. So you're anxious. It's not an ongoing. You don't get any mechanical disadvantage to anything. But if you want to flavour that, this has rocked you.
My stress is now 3. Yeah.
Your stress is now 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. As this whole thing's shaking and everything, all of a sudden the lights just switch to red, and you hear that. Wah, 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 wah. There's another
I hate
sort of
that sound.
boom from the left side of the ship. And in there, like, you can see, Vig, like, the panels are just, like, the sudden power surge is just absolutely everything is just chaos. Like, all the readouts and panels are either completely fried or going haywire. Just there's small pops and sparks bursting forth from the console as you're trying to interact with it. And you look over to see, like Chuck, like, fighting with the controls. She's like, we've lost both engines. Backup controls are fried. I'm gonna have to land her now. Vig, get on this stick. Get on the fucking stick now. And she's like, you see her, like, she's shaking, and the whole ship is shaking, and it's starting to fall as it starts to. And this whole thing is, and you can see now as you drop it, you drop out of cloud. You in there below you, Vig. You can start to see the canopy of jungle trees ahead of you. Now, do you get on the stick? Are you going to help her?
Yeah.
Then you're going to have to make a roll.
No. Yes. Okay.
As Chuck is fighting this, it's like, and she gets on the comms, so like, we're going down. Get emergency positions. Strap yourselves in. We're going down. We're going down. And the ship is. I need you to make me. Well, what check would you like to make, Vig? Sell me in on this. What do you think is appropriate? What is Vig doing to try and help land this thing?
I've obviously got piloting skill, and I've also got rim-wise skill as well. So I reckon that at one time in the past, I might have encountered a similar situation whilst exploring the outer rim in my youth as a tug pilot.
I love that. So you can add both of them to I would say probably a strength roll.
Okay.
Because the ship is fighting. This is all about the ship's going to crash. How badly does it crash?
Crap. Okay. So I can add my 10 points for my rim wise and 15 points for my piloting skills. So what we got? 70 I have to get below.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll this one with all these numbers on, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And a D10 as well.
Okay.
So.
Let's do this. Okay. Good news, everyone.
Good news, everyone.
I got 60 and 0.
So you got 60?
Yeah.
Oh, that was still close, wasn't it? Oh dear. So, and because it's close, it's not going to be pretty, and you know, as you're picking up speed, dropping down, you know this is going to be bad. But you do everything. You feel like the way the ship's controls are, you can feel like just the tendons in your forearms as it's trying to, like, the ship's fighting you, and everything's shaking. In the back, it's turbulence from hell, and everything is chaos. Harper, are you still buckled in, or have you gotten out?
Yeah.
I mean, you unplugged, but you were still buckled.
Yep.
Yeah. So Harper, you've probably dropped down to the floor. As you see, like, Lucky's there, sort of just holding their head, and Jackal's trying to sort of pick themselves up. As the sergeant is sliding around, and then there's another from the side of the ship, and it shakes, and then one of the panels on the left-hand side disappears with an explosion. And just automatically, the air just, and the sergeant is sliding towards it as the ship veers somewhat, and everyone.
And I'm just prone.
You are prone. You were not near it. Those people. The sergeant was the closest one to it, but certainly all of you feel the whole thing go around. There's a couple of other. I need to make a couple of rolls. As the sergeant is sliding towards this open hole in the side of the ship, where you can see now. You can see there's smoke and there's flames. So you can hear that. And you start to see the outside rushing by, and you can start to see, like, lit up by lightning, like canopies of trees. And the sergeant's like scrabbling. He dropped his weapon and he's sliding towards that open.
Can any of us reach him? Is he?
You can certainly
sliding
try.
past, can you? Yeah, definitely. Let's
Okay.
try. What do I
Yeah.
do?
I think you guys might be. I think I'd need to like do something to get up before I can help someone.
Yeah. I mean, you're all
Yeah.
you're all kind of prone, but Harpy, because you're on your feet, you can try and grab him.
I think she would probably unbuckle as well if she had to
Yeah,
try and grab
she's unbuckling, but like it's not as
Yeah,
if you're going to
holding on
slide
and
right out of
buckle.
the hole. You're not going to go
Yeah.
whee, Superman out of the ship.
Well, it depends how I roll, right?
Okay. Yeah. And-
What am I rolling?
That would be a speed check. You're going to try and
Okay.
because you're trying to grab him as he slides past.
Terrible. My speed's not awful. Mwah. Oh, 21! And my speed is 42.
Hey, well done. You managed to grab him. He's almost out, and you move slightly. It's sort of the force of it makes you slide a little bit, and you have to hold on to one of the chairs to hold on to him. And he's almost, as the ship is going down, you've got to hold on to him now. As he's like, Harper, don't let go! And although it's hard to hear anything because this whole thing is now, there's lots of swearing, chaos, lights, like things are exploding within this very place now as the ship drops further. What are Lucky and Jackal doing?
So
You feel
I'm
it. You
still
feel the
close
ship. Yeah.
to Avocado,
Yeah.
who's sitting.
Who's
on his
buckled
bench.
in like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
And
he-
who's
hold
sitting
on.
kind of next to him, sort of towards where the sergeant is?
Let's see, shall we? Who's sat next to Avocado? Because Avocado was kind of on the end. Let's see who's. Could be. That is Tank. The large,
Sounds
sort of-
promising.
who's a wall of muscle. It's like,
And the buckles, would they be the sort of thing that they'd kind of be strapped in, but there'd be like a...
there's an emergency sort of release type thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucky is going to get up, kind of haul himself up and hit them both, Tank and Avocado, quite hard in the stomach where the buckle
Yeah.
will be. The buckles pop open and say, "This is it! Let's go save the sergeant! Go!"
Like Avocado screams like, "Get the!" and Tank's like, "Get the fuck off me, man!" And then like he's trying to
Are
move.
you a
back.
Marine?
He's trying to. He
Are you a
literally,
Marine?
fuck
Don't
you!
be a Marine!
And he pushes you out the way. Whereas Avocado's like, "Oh god!"
Oh no!
And you sort of like pull him out of the seat. So they're both out, and Tank is sort of moving, and he moves to support you, Harper. So he's trying to. It's like fire and smoke. Jackal, what are you doing? As the whole thing's shaking, and you see
God.
Lucky as you sort of like take them out, you can see outside, and you see the trees getting closer and closer.
Yeah,
Harpy,
I know. I'm imagining that the impact's going to be coming quite soon, so I want to get up and have something to hold on to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there's seats. Obviously, you didn't buckle yourself in, and
Apparently not.
there's the barriers.
Lucky is holding on to one of the straps and kind of still standing heroically, but holding on to one of the straps while sending the others off.
In a good pose.
Yeah, oh god, always.
Was it Avocado who came over to me to help pull? Yeah.
No, it was no Tank.
Was it Tank?
did.
Tank.
Avocado threw up.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, baby.
No poor baby in the Marines.
Harper's not going to look at Tank and just say, "Private safety, please remain seated while the dropship is in run."
As you see this huge guy with a big beard just look at you like, "Shut the fuck up, Harper! Get him back in!" And he's like, and he's struggling, he's trying to reach out, but the sergeant's like, his legs are dangling out of this thing. Back in the cockpit. How you doing, Vig? I would say Vig has to. Yeah, I would say. You feel like the ship is losing control. You've lost both engines now.
What's my steering ability? Like, have I got thrusters or vanes or anything to steer with?
You're going to have this thing. You can see down below you. It would help if you could see any of the readings, but you can't see anything like that. But as things are flashing by, you see small pockets of maybe swampland in certain places amidst jungle, but you're dropping down. So it's going to be very rough. It's just.
I need to. Can I pull up in any way, shape, or form? Can I try and level us out into a glide?
Yeah, you can do. If you're going to glide it, the engines are gone, so you're literally just going to try and. The bird's going to die, but how's it going to go? Now that you've assessed the situation, you got control of it somewhat, and now it's like, okay.
I'm going to decide how the goose gets cooked. Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this would be, I would say, a strength check.
Yeah.
You can probably make the same, add the same again if you wanted.
Yeah. So piloting, rim-wise. I guess military training or 0G are not going to help me here.
No, yeah. I'm being cheeky allowing you rim-wise, but I will allow both.
Okay, let's stick with those. So it's below 70 again, and I'm rolling the both of them, yeah?
Yeah.
I've got 33.
Critical success. With all the trees, there, you know, if we fall in that, we're all dead. We're all dead. And obviously, with Chuck's like holding on, she's you can see her grimacing as well. So you see a large patch of like marshy swampland. It's not huge, but if this rock is going to land, then that's probably the safest place you can do it. So you manage to veer it, and using the actual momentum of the ship falling to glide it towards there. As it's the whole thing is shaking. And before you know it, you start to. It's not long before everyone begins to hear dum, 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 as the bottom of the ship. It's not that you're going to land in the marshlands, in the sort of swamp kind of area. But there are trees before it. So just before it smashes up the bottom of it, like, and then all of a sudden there's a mighty... But before we land, is there anything else anyone would like to do before the ship finally hits the ground? You feel it move. You feel it move with an intention. What does everyone in the back do? None of you are strapped in.
Yeah, I want to secure myself as tightly as possible to whatever there is that can do that.
Have we made any progress to pull the sergeant further in?
Well, I assume you're still holding on.
Harper.
Yeah, we're holding on.
Harper.
Yeah.
Do you want to strap yourself in, Or do you want to pull the sergeant back in?
Pull the sergeant back in.
Then make me a strength check
Yep.
with advantage because
Ooh.
tank is there.
Okay. My strength is amazing, as you can probably gather. I'm a tiny little weedy. 62 for the first one. Oh, 43, burn.
Was that a fail?
I'm 33. It's a fail. Are we still holding on?
Gain a point of stress.
Great. Great. I love it.
And where you had hold of him, he had one of those wrist things.
No.
And it... And before you know it, the sergeant's out of the ship. He disappears out. Jackal, you said you strapped yourself in?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It's a struggle, and I would say, because you're prone, I would say make a strength check. Because you're fighting, you're literally fighting a ship that's going down. I need to update my sheet.
Am I able to get any of either athletics or military training on that?
Athletics will help you with this.
So I get a +10.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you're going to have to use all your strength to try and grab hold and get into the seat.
My strength is 51 and I got 51.
Oh! If you get the score, you get the score. It is agony, but you just managed to, and I would say you just managed to sit back and clip up when this thing hits, when this thing lands.
Insane. Yeah, I literally like I've just done the clip and then I look up and the captain.
Lucky, what are you doing?
Roughly how far off the ground were we at the point when the sergeant started to go whee out the window?
Hard to say. You wouldn't know that.
And are we coming in?
And you were going at quite a speed, so he sort of.
So we're going super fast.
He went out and just disappeared,
Okay.
and there was smoke like behind.
Right.
So.
Okay. And we're coming in at a kind of like skimming stone sort of.
And where you
angle.
are currently, you're stood. Well, you're near sort of two empty seats.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I should roll for avocado, shouldn't I?
Not a crocodile.
Avocado roll, if you will.
Hey!
Hey!
Who's gonna get smashed?
Okay.
Ooh.
It's going to make a save.
Just keep him away from the toast.
Oh, I'm just waiting for that line. Just waiting for what happens next.
Avocado hits the deck. He hits the deck and he begins sliding. You're there in front of these two empty seats with buckles in. You're away from your seat. Your seat was further down, but you have an empty seat in front of you.
Wasn't using it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm holding on to the straps.
Yeah. Currently.
I'm gonna try and just grab hold of, because he's little, isn't he? He's quite skinny.
He's the youngest
Yeah.
cadet out of all of them. Yeah, he's the.
Um,
You could say he's somewhat green. So you do it. I'll say you do it, Sarah.
So Lucky is going to shout out towards Tank. It's like, Tank, get a hold of something. And I'm going to grab Avocado's skinny little ankle and just hang on to the strap. And just
Okay. Then I will say
heroic pose 14 from the catalogue.
this will be a speed check because, like I say, he started to. If you want to try and grab him, it's speed or strength. What would you like to do, Lizzie? Like he's on the floor and he's started to move. Are you grabbing him to keep hold of him? Or are you pulling him? Are you trying to grab him so he doesn't roll away?
I want him to not disappear. So that's probably strength.
Strength.
I think, because I want to kind of.
You go grab
hold
him.
on,
Yeah,
in.
grab hold of probably his ankle and then.
Can I use my athletics?
Yes.
Can I use my military training? No.
No, I don't think so. Not in this
Okay, so I'm after a 44, less than 44. And I'm now auditioning the green dice. Oh dear.
Oh.
Appropriately, I was auditioning the green dice for the squishy avocado. 68! Bye!
Oh no, if I could do.
He's not heading out he's not heading out the same hole. You don't grab him in time. He slips out your grasp. Slides through a puddle of his own sick, and you only literally you have a moment just to brace yourself.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, kid! You can do it! You can do it! Hang on!
As he's like, ah! And there's lots of screaming and like there's, soldiers trying to gather themselves as finally, and Vig, you see this, you can see it, and all of a sudden the clouds part, and then you just see the ground, and the whole thing is shuddering, and we cut to the outside as the ship sort of it takes off a chunk, loads of the canopy of some of the jungle, just it lands. It's not a pretty landing, it's a violent landing. It lands in this sort of rocky swamp area, like there's like swamp water bursts up everywhere as it skids through, and inside, whoever's strapped in, or see it, when the landing, there are people flying. The people are taken off their feet. If you're not strapped in, the force of this is you're moving. And everything is, there's a huge explosion as a ship eventually stops, and it goes through some marshland until the force of it hitting, it continues through this swamp. The swamp acts like a sort of padding, and it eventually hits the ridge of the swamp with a as dirt and earth is thrown up in the air, and all is quiet. And that's where we're going to go to a break.
Yeah. As if I wasn't going to strap in.
We're going to have a break for 5 minutes, everyone.
Oh. Okay, I was the only dummy who didn't strap in.
Meet us back in 5 minutes to see what's left of the ship. See you in 5. And welcome back. The Sky Talon had a rough landing. And we open up. Actually, not on any vision at all. It's a black screen. And then we see readouts appearing. And Harper, you were the first to regain consciousness. Because you had no consciousness to lose. As your eye opens and the entire of the ship is at an angle. It's odd. You're sort of... Did you strap yourself in? You did not, did you?
I was holding on. I was trying to... I chose the sergeant. I chose poorly.
And when the ship landed, you were shunted forward. But that was when everything sort of went black, as like lots of things sort of fell in and part of the ship crumpled, and it was just an almighty bang. And you open your eyes and you can't quite see because it's so dark in here, and you hear you can't really see anyone near you at this particular time. But you can't stand up. You look down and you realise that your wrist, your hand is facing the wrong way.
Oh shit.
And you look down at it. It doesn't hurt. But you can't stand up. You look down and you see there's a large sort of almost a girder of metal. It's like a sheet of metal, something has fallen down and it's trapped you there. A quick assessment of your systems and vitals. There's no major damage done. But you are sort of trapped there. And your hand is going the right way. But because of the way everything's fallen out, and like a lot of the inside of this is crumpled, you can't see anyone right now. What do you do?
Can I make an attempt to move? What's the bar? Is it just impossible? There's no way I can move it. Whatever.
You can attempt to move it, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to attempt to move
it. You would need to twist your... If you want to do it without disadvantage...
Yeah, I'll twist my... If I can twist my arm back
you can twist your hand around the right way.
Nice.
And you do feel... When you do that, you feel something go in your eye. And you realise that there's a scratch in your head and android blood. It doesn't hurt, it's just...
They're all like milky. Like on aliens.
Yeah.
Milky.
Your milky synthetic blood is in your eye. You cracked your head, but...
Lovely.
But yes, you can attempt to lift this up.
Yep.
Which would be...
Strong. Which I'm so good at.
Have you got anything you can add to this?
I could use my computer knowledge. Linguistics, I could talk to it. Military training. Do we ever have to lift things?
I'll allow the military training. Go on. I'll allow that.
Yeah, boy. Okay. It didn't help at all because it's 83.
83. This thing, you're pushing and it moves, but it's not.
So she's just gonna call out pretty monotone, and just get, please respond, Private Kapoor, please respond, and just basically go through them all like, Private Blanco, please respond, and just see who is gonna.
That is an awesome and haunting sci-fi horror thing. Just reeling out the names over and over as everything's just.
Private Lindbergh, please respond.
As you can see, like Harper's just trapped there. The glow of the light, her eye. She's saying this, and someone hears it. Vig, you hear. It's almost like you're underwater at first. Don't worry, you're not underwater. I know you landed in this one, but you're not literally underwater.
Please respond.
As you sort of come to consciousness, and you realise, your chest hurts. No major damage, but you go to move your head to the side, and the helmet clinks against something. And you look round and you can see that through the cockpit there is a winding tree branches that have shattered the cockpit, and that are about 3 inches from your face, and just missed piercing your shoulder. But it's like they're right next to you. As you can just hear, and you're still strapped in.
Okay, I want to unstrap in. I want to.
You take off the buckles, and there are some
strap
more.
out.
Yeah, there are some more branches. Like lots of branches have come through this windscreen, and like your windscreen, the pilot's shield, and like it's difficult sort of maneuvering out, but you can unbuckle and move away, get out of your seat.
Is Chuck okay?
You look over to where Chuck is, and you see Chuck sort of there, sort of head down, like just not moving. But you can see a tree.
Hey, Chuck.
You can see a tree.
Wake up, sleepyhead.
She doesn't reply, and as your vision clears, because it's still quite dark, and you can hear the patter of rain on the top of this vehicle as well. As your eyes clear up, you can see there's a tree branch
No.
that's through her chest
Aye.
and pinned out the back. She's just head down like that,
Chuck.
and she's not moving.
Oh, Chucky Chuck. I mean, he's not Catholic. I don't know why he's doing that. He's a Quaker.
I would say make a sanity save, please, Vic. When you see
Okay,
this.
what am I rolling?
This would be your sanity stat, or your sanity save roll.
Oh, so my sanity stat is 29.
Okay.
Which dice am I rolling?
This is the D100. You need to get under a 29. You've known this.
Uh-oh.
You've known this woman for quite some time.
Got a 40.
You got a 40.
Yeah.
That's a point of stress. And
Okay.
roll me a panic save
Oh, right.
immediately
Okay.
afterwards.
Panic save. Is that same dice?
That's the D20. So how many stress do you have now?
3.
3. So roll me a D20. You just got to get over 3.
6.
Just make it. You don't panic, but just you feel it. Your stomach lurches as the whole thing becomes clear, and all of a sudden, like the sound, you start to recognise the sound behind. What sounds like Harper. You think it's Harper? I think that's the name of the android, but you just hear muffled voice just repeating names over and over.
Robert, is that you?
And you're actually closer to where the cockpit is, Harper. That was where you slid down, because when the ship moved forward, you slid and hit that wall. So you're not too far from where he is. And you can see, as you look up, there is part of a tree that's broken through this, and smashed in.
Can I hear? I can hear him.
You can hear him now,
Robert?
yeah.
Yeah. Lance Corporal Blouse, please respond.
It's Blouse.
Lance Corporal Blouse, please respond.
It's Blouse. You okay?
I appear to be in good working condition, but I am stuck. Damage assessment?
Do you want me to come back there?
Yes.
It sounded
I
wrong.
turn this ship around and go back to New Winnipeg, can I? Can I go back and check on the robot?
Yeah, it takes some,
Robot.
the door immediately, it's like it doesn't want to open at first. You've got to physically sort of push it and move it, but it's an effort. But as soon as you sort of open it, you see it's hard I mean, it's dark in here, but you see that this whole thing, it's almost like someone took the interior of this ship and just shook it several times. There's boxes, there's bits of metal that have, part of the side is sort of bent inwards, but when you look down to the right, you see the android sat there with a large bit of metal, pinning them to the floor.
Okay, kiddo, we're gonna get this piece of metal off you. So I have a crowbar. I have industrial equipment training. Is any of this gonna help me?
You can use, if you take your crowbar out of that because you probably in the cockpit you had like some things. So yeah,
Under the seat, yeah.
Yeah, take your crowbar, and you can make a strength check with advantage if you want to.
Yeah, I've got military training. What have I got? Industrial equipment training. Will that help me?
I don't think it's not industrial equipment. A crowbar is not quite the same as no.
I would describe this as an industrial
equipment.
situation.
Are you industrial equipment, Sarah?
Yes!
Let's see. Let's
I
see.
would
Let's look at my reference
Oh.
book.
Really?
Can I unscrew the bottom half of her, pull her apart, and then
No.
rescrew her?
No, you wouldn't know that how to do that at all. But you
Why
can,
haven't I got advanced robotics?
you can make a strength check with advantage.
What's the advantage?
Basically, you roll twice. You roll a
Yeah.
D100 twice, and take the lower roll.
Okay, D100. Come on, lucky, whatever it needs to be.
Oh, we don't know where Lucky is.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. I got 60. Can I roll again, yeah?
Yeah.
And I got 20.
Hey.
It takes it.
Wait up!
Yeah. Eventually, you prize it. It's a heavy piece of metal, but Harper, you can shimmy out.
Hey, there we go.
The armor's cracked, but still intact. Still intact.
She's gonna like experimentally twist her limbs in some weird fucking ways. Make sure everything's good.
You can see that Vig has scratches all over his face, mainly on the side, which probably some of the branches or leaves or whatever. But he seems well enough. And Vig, you notice that she does have. There is the android liquid.
You got the stuff in your forehead.
Android liquid? Goop?
Goop.
Mild
Oh yeah, the
green
goop. Yeah,
android
let's call it goop.
liquid.
The goop. Where is Corporal Von Buren?
Dead. Let's just say she has become one with the forest.
Oh, Jesus.
This is someone he cared about. Could you imagine what it's like?
I'm just glad it wasn't a. She's branching out.
Oh!
See you next week, everyone. We're done.
No! It's taking me a while to twig. That's
Hey.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
this is my silly.
God.
Dear.
Oh god, now
I don't feel bad for dropping them out of the sky now. Viewers.
We're just going back to our roots.
Yeah.
Leave while we still got a chance.
Okay.
This is a good old family tree we got going.
I wish
No, it's a bit
Sergeant
energy
was
sapping,
here.
isn't it, really?
Oh.
Sergeant was here and be barking orders at us. I think that's it. That's it.
Oh, this poor imaginary woman.
Load it!
Okay.
Look, anyway,
Okie dokie.
around. Can we see? Who can we see? Is it still smoky?
It's still fairly smoky and you can hear. You do see some shapes. There seems to be some bodies ahead. No one seems to be moving. There's a couple of. You think you hear groans. You look down next to you, Harper.
Yes.
Initially, you see a pile of what looks like vomit, and
Fuckadoo.
then just to the left of it, you see there's a part of the ship has buckled in. And there's a not moving. There's a body crumpled up against the wall, but their head is at a funny angle.
Oh no.
Ow. Avocado.
Hilarious angle.
He got really smashed.
Guacamole!
God, I can't believe this is the show we're doing. Right,
It's a horror game.
yay!
Horror is puns.
And but certainly, like when you look at your sort of visor, and you also, Harper, you do have one of those sort of wrist units as well. You can recognise it as the readout of Lindbergh, and they don't.
No vital signs.
No vital signs.
Shit. Okay. So she's still gonna be like listing off names as she's walking around and trying to find people.
Okay.
Prioritizing Gary Cooper Kapoor, because she's the medic. We need the medic first.
Yeah.
Ow.
And you do see, as you're saying it, you do see a chair that's almost sort of ripped off the side, and it's sort of like facing downwards, but strapped in, seemingly unconscious at the moment, is Kapoor, the ship's medic. She's sort of not moving, and you can see blood seems to be running down her face, but she didn't go anywhere. And you see that she's unconscious, but she's alive.
Okay.
Lucky, you're the next one to hear. After the darkness took you can suddenly hear the sound of Harper's voice. Is that the name of the android? Harper? You can hear them calling out names, and you wake up, and there is an agonizing pain in your shoulder. It may be dislocated. You can't really see anything at the moment because as you sort of look up, there's just carnage everywhere. You can actually see on the ground as well weapons. Some weapons that should be in people's hands, but they've just been thrown everywhere.
Can I go to where I last saw Avocado?
And certainly as you do that, Harper and Vig, you notice a figure sort of step out. And the pain is in your left shoulder really bad, you can see there.
Not my right shoulder, my left shoulder.
But you notice Lucky appear out, just sort of stumble
Hey, look,
out.
Lucky. Hey, look, Robot. Lucky by name, lucky by nature.
That's Corporal Day. Are you injured? Don't know.
Nothing that a good vigorous. Oh no.
That's my name.
Word. That's the wrong word.
Nothing that a good
Vigorous blouse would fix. Yeah.
nothing that a good just needs popping back in.
Become that kind of game.
Do you want to try? Where's the kid?
Oh, did you mean the avocado?
Yeah.
He smashed.
Where is he?
They point him out, and you see the crumpled up form.
And I kind of go over and I lean down and put my hand on his squishy shoulder. And you did good, kid. You did good. And I kind of want to get his dog tags, if he's got dog tags, or and also look maybe top pocket for his titanium toothpick.
You see Lucky, you probably wouldn't necessarily hear what he's saying, but then you see him rooting around. And this kid's sort of looking. You do find in a little metal case. It's original tin, which is it's obviously normally the Marines, their titanium toothpick. They never keep the tins. They don't need them. But yeah, this is obviously, it was fairly new.
He's new. He didn't even name it yet, I bet. And I'll make sure this gets back to the people who cared for you, kid. Now could someone... Anyone
One is
pop a shoulder?
Can I Can I search my databases and see if there's any way I would have any idea how to do that? I think probably.
You would be able to assess that there's a dislocated shoulder. So you can surmise that you could pop it back in. You have the knowledge to do that.
Well,
You hold here.
Are you
and I'll
sure
do the-
you'd rather not wait for Private Kapoor,
Who's that?
the medic?
Oh, hey. I don't want to take his time unnecessarily.
She said that real hard.
That's a massive example of how well Lucky knows this group.
What? Well, I don't want to.
As you're talking, I'm literally just gonna be like, like your arm.
Oh!
She has no.
Yeah.
Oh God!
This is how she really feels.
Make a body save, Lucky.
Well, because they always say when
Yeah.
you're doing dislocations, you've got to do it while they're distracted.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just imagine an android yanking on your arm.
So I was aiming for a 31 and I got a 90.
A 90.
Oh!
An audible scream. An audible, loud scream.
Let's call it a shriek.
A shriek.
It's unnaturally high for a heroic man.
Yeah.
Does this shriek wake me up?
The shriek
The
is funny.
shriek
you
wakes
should
up a lot of things.
Yes. The shriek.
That might have been the inciting incident.
Yeah, the shriek is what you start to hear then, like a couple of like groans, and a jackal towards the back. Like you sort of you strapped yourself in, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I strapped myself in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
and solid. Nice
Yeah.
and solid.
But you lost
Thinking of
consciousness.
number one.
Yeah, you lost consciousness when your head sort of moved forward and cracked against the. So you wake up. There's like a scream, and then all of a sudden you wake up, and there's a throbbing at the back of your head.
Uh huh.
But you're still strapped in, and you look in front of you because you're a bit further down. There's darkness and there's bodies crumpled up and things.
Oh Jesus Christ! Can I see Avocado from where I am?
You can't see Avocado from where you are. You do
Okay.
see another figure lying. There's some movement in the darkness from other troopers. You do see someone kind of close to you that isn't moving at all.
I just try and I try and move my head, I guess. If I unstrap myself, am I going to fall out or fall over
No.
or anything?
No,
But then I unstrap myself.
You unstrap yourself.
Yeah.
You step out, and you can see as you get close, you see this figure that's sort of crumpled up, and you can't really see the top half of them because it seems to be underneath, like something heavy landed on them.
Mm-hmm.
From the look
okay.
of where you see there's some of their gear, you see some like furs and stuff. You know that this is Private Baranova or Bullet.
Bullet.
You know.
Oh. Okay.
But you can't
Can
see any
I-
evidence of what it looks like. You just see their legs sticking out.
Okay. So I don't know if they're
something's heavy
actually
on top of them.
dead
Yeah,
or not.
yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna just shout. I'll be like, "Who's left?"
And the rest of you hear from the back. Jackal, high noon. Private Kapoor is still out, and eventually, as Jackal says that, you hear a couple of like groans, like, yeah, here," and they all begin sort of like checking in. You hear Jesse Blanco, Private Blanco, workbench. He checks in, and they're not sort of going, "Yes, sir." They're croakily sort of saying it. You hear Private Carver, aka Volatile. She pipes up. Private Lopez, or Majestic, as he's known. He eventually makes an appearance. High Noon doesn't respond, but you can see that she's okay. And lastly, you hear Tank, who's sort of like, and he's sort of holding his leg. You can see like there's a bad gash in his leg. It's like, fuck. As he sort of stumbles up to you, Harp. He's like, "Are you okay?"
not damaged, but you obviously are. And she's literally just gonna turn away and start.
Well, no fucking
trying
shit.
To wake up, and I'm gonna try and wake up Kapoor.
Okay.
Can I? She says she's hanging from a chair. Is it
The
like?
chair sort of like folded out. It's almost like it was on. It was
Yeah.
against the wall, and it came undone.
And now
and-
it's coming forward.
Yeah.
Okay. She's gonna start like gently tapping her face for an android. Gently.
You also know that she had medical equipment on her. You saw her like prepping it, and she had like med kits, and she had like the pain pills. She also had one of those sticks that you snap and wake someone up. She's got a couple of those on her.
I will grab one of those.
Yeah. So you can immediately, and she
do that.
immediately goes, oh god, God, and she's just holding her head and like, fuck, Harper, am I dead? Oh God, no.
Obviously, you're not dead. Your skills are required. And she's gonna unbuckle her and just like.
She lands on the floor. Like, oh fuck, God. And she she takes her helmet off, and you can see like she's holding her head, and like she's got her eyebrows bloody. She's got blood in her mouth. It looks like she bit her lip quite badly. And she landed. Like, oh God, where's the Sarge?
Sarge is dead.
What?
Well, he fell out. We don't know if he's dead yet.
What do you mean?
Sarge is dead.
The speed we were going at and the height we were at, it is highly likely that Sergeant Lynch is possibly not alive.
Oh fuck.
Sarge
But
is dead.
He's lost.
What the fuck, man?
It's likely, but I don't know it for sure yet. So until I see his body, I'm gonna stay optimistic.
And Tank speaks up. I saw him go out that hole, Jackal. He's gone. He's got blood from his
Well,
nose.
least we could do is look for the body.
Jackal, you realize that this makes you ranking officer.
Yep.
Yep.
And guess what? We're gonna go look for that body.
Are you out of your fucking mind? Where
Crazy.
the
You
fuck
see-
are we?
When you start talking about going to find the body, you see Harper's like camera eye kind of swivel around a bit. She goes, company regulations state that we should prioritize the mission and the lives of the crew before trying to retrieve any deceased crew.
All right. Since you all seem to think that he's definitely dead, fine. We'll just say that he's dead and carry on with the mission. But I have a feeling we're going to encounter something. And I would have liked the sergeant's input on exactly what was going on here.
Oh, God, this
I like
Is alive. Sorry.
I like your confidence, Jackal.
Jackal.
Cool name.
Corporal Archer, you have received the right training to be in this position, and you have a lot of experience. You should be able to do this job.
No, I mean it. I really like your confidence. That he could still be alive. I mean, you know, I know more about luck than most people, and times are I would have been written off. Whew. And you know, sometimes you get lucky.
Look, I'm not saying I can't do the job. It's just that guy had a gun. I don't have a gun. Like, we could at least look
Hey,
for his gun.
wait. You don't have a gun?
No, I got a toothpick.
And you see
Why-
now that like there are guns scattered everywhere. Whatever.
Oh, I'll just take one of these. Never mind. Never mind.
there are pulse rifles. There's a shotgun. There's.
Harper's not going to break eye contact and just take out her tranquilizer gun and just go, I have a gun. And not break eye contact when she does that.
Vig is going to go back into the cockpit at this point. He's going to throw his hands up in the air, go back into the cockpit, and say goodbye to Chuck, get Chuck's dog tags, reach under his seat, and get his constant test. Chuck is teetotal and doesn't smoke, so he carries a small bag with a 6-pack of beer and some cigarettes in it. It also has 5 pain pills in it too, and I'm going to need these things with me if I'm going to survive with you crazy fucks.
Yeah.
Good night, Chuck. You're a good kid.
Yes, Lucky?
Just you know, thinking ahead to when we complete our mission. Can you run some crazy computer shit on the ship? And on a scale of 1 to totally, tell me how fucked this thing is.
Vig, you know immediately what the answer to that is.
So, you know a spaceship, right?
I've seen one or two.
Depends on us being able to keep air inside the spaceship, right? And the spaceship needs 1, maybe 2 engines to fly. We don't have none of those things. We got a big hole in the hull. We got a lot of buckling. We ain't got no engines. All the windscreens are cracked. There's a branch through my best friend. It's not going nowhere.
So we're gonna need alternative
Robot lady?
transportation.
I can run some diagnostics.
Thank you.
I would like to run those diagnostics. Do I need to go into the cockpit? And
If you step into the cockpit, you can see what's happened to Chuck.
How long, if we were to try and fix it, how long would that take?
For a ship like this, years. This thing is teetotaled? It's totaled. It's because Vig's teetotaled. That really threw me. Yeah. Hasn't touched a drop of liquor in its life, this ship. This thing is rough. But you notice that your wrist device is still active and working because they worked off different sort of system and battery packs and stuff.
Okay.
As you're in the cockpit, and you look now and like you can see where the cockpit is smashed into the front of this sort of swamp, on the edge of this swamp, this river bank, or swamp bank. You think you see something moving in the trees ahead. But even though it's like, because the lightning is still going above, the sound of rain. Was there movement or was it wind?
Okay. Is it dark outside? What kind of?
It's pretty dark
kind of day
because of
is it?
this electrical storm that was taking place. This sort of weather system, it had essentially blocked out most of the light. It had been happening for a long time. That's what it was what took down the ship, but the storm had been happening for a long time. It's just gotten worse. So naturally, it's blocked out sunlight. It seems like it's night for a long time because the weather bank is so thick that no proper sunlight can get through.
Okay.
As this is happening,
Right.
as Harper sees this, and the rest of you are in the back, you hear towards the back. Go on, Matt's camera just frizzed out, and it looked like we were in Alien Isolation.
That was terrible.
That was amazing. That was oh, Jesus Christ.
In Mac's headroom to pop up or
yeah.
something.
That's the sort of special effects we have on this show, right? You hear towards the back of the ship, a little help here, help, and you towards the back. You think you'd see a hand sort of raising up towards the back. Harper doesn't see it. Harper's in the cockpit at the moment, but the rest of you can.
Okay.
hear a
Am
voice
I
at the
near
back.
this person since I'm at the back as well?
Yeah, you're the nearest to them,
Okay. Yeah, I immediately want to go and check him out, try and help him out.
and they're a little bit. They're about like 10, 15 feet behind where Bullet was, and this is Private Marston or Hatchet, as they're known.
Oh, shit.
And you can see they're there sort of flat on their back, and there's a large bit there. They look like they're trapped underneath some debris. You can't see where their legs are, and they're like, oh, fuck. Archer, man. Fuck. What the fuck, man? He looks like he's pinned in. He's got blood on his face and his mouth.
Okay. I just say don't move, and I assess whether I can safely lift anything off him without killing him.
This is without killing him. This thing, it looks like it's going to take a couple of people to try and lift this up enough. Because he's like, I can't. I'm pinned in, man. I think I busted my ankle up pretty bad. I can't. You can't see where his legs are because it's sort of folded down. But he's like, fuck, man. God damn.
I mean, I've just got signs in my head at the moment. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say that. There's a dude pinned up against the truck, and as soon as the truck moves, he's dead. Like, I don't know if I move this thing, that's just immediately going to kill him. Yeah. But what do we get? Even if so, that's his fate, right? There. Yeah, but even if so, that's just his fate, right? So.
But you don't have you don't have the medical training. You wouldn't have the medical training. He can't see. I mean, he's moving, and he seems to be active in a way that says that maybe there's not massive damage at the bottom. So,
I just go, medic.
And Harper sort of, and not Harper, Kapoor moves down and begins assessing. He's like, I think my ankle's busted up pretty bad, but I don't think anything's broken. In the cockpit, Harper, you're stood there, and you see movement again. Something moving in the trees. What do you do?
I'm gonna... How far away is it, the movement?
Looks about 40, 50 feet away. Wow.
I'm gonna back up a bit towards the door and just kind of lean out. Keep my eyes on the trees. And I'm just gonna lean out and be like, Corporal Archer? And just try and get anybody's...
Okay, as soon as the medic is dealing with pinned boy, I'm just gonna go and
so Archer
see what Harper wants.
Yeah.
What's up?
I can see movement in these trees. There was one... Sorry. I believe there wasn't supposed to be any life on this planet apart from the research team. Is that correct?
Do you have a percentage of how sure you are that you saw something move?
78.5.
That's high enough for me. I grab a gun.
Are you talking quietly?
Normal kind of. I'm not whispering.
They are near the cockpit.
I don't think Harper knows how to whisper.
Yeah. And you see, Kapoor
Frank might be lucky. Would be listening in a bit, and on hearing that there's something, would get the scope of a rifle. I mean,
yeah. Do you know what? If once Harper says that, I would immediately relay to everybody loudly that everybody who's up, we might not be alone. Be alert now. On just be ready. If you have a weapon, put it in your hands.
And you see,
but bringing in the scope, particularly to kind of use as a telescope.
As Kapoor's like, we need to get this man out.
Okay, I immediately go, somebody help Kapoor. Somebody help Kapoor get this man out. Everybody else, eyes on the trees and weapons in hands.
Okay.
Kapoor.
I'll help Kapoor because I don't have. I have a tranquilizer gun. Just nothing.
Okay. So, Vig and Harper, you move down to where Kapoor is, and you see Hatchet there, and he looks pretty busted. He's like, I can't. This thing's too heavy. I can't lift it by myself. I just don't. Can I get? We need to get this man out now, immediately. There's a.
Okay. Who's helping?
Boom!
Could I say, tank? Go help him.
On the top, something lands. Boom! On the top of the dropship. Like boom, boom. It's like something lands. From the sounds of it, a four-legged creature, a quadruped creature.
Okay, I put my hand up to signify everybody stay silent.
I crouch.
I got towards the back.
Vic,
of the ship,
are
where
you still in the
hole is
cockpit?
No, I'm helping.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they were just about to help.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Marston. Like, what the fuck's going on, man? What the fuck? As Marston's going, what the fuck was that, man? What the fuck?
Am I close enough to Marston to put my hand over his mouth?
Yeah.
Can
I
you
will.
just
So what the fuck?
tranquilize him?
No, I'm not using that. I'm not trying to like.
Yeah.
Why waste a bullet?
Boom.
Okay.
Boom.
I'm. Anybody with a weapon, just hopefully looking out.
I mean, at the moment,
my
it's just
crowbar.
the solid,
I know
the
it's on the
solid
top,
roof,
but if it comes down over a side, I want to be ready to.
and you. I mean, at the moment, you're like in a box. There's the door, the panel that came out,
Mhm.
which is almost like the nearest sort of exit, is partially in the swamp water. If you know what I mean, because the ship's slightly over, so you can't quite see out
And is that the only entrance and exit that we have available to us?
currently. And then
The
Then you-
cockpit. Oh yeah, there's a tree branch through
Yeah.
that, isn't there?
then
So Frank, Lucky had gone up towards the cockpit to try and look through the scope at whatever was in the trees.
yeah. And as you did that,
But
you
it's
saw
sort of
something
halfway
move.
through.
As you did that, Lucky, as you went up, that was just before the sound. You saw something move quick. Something move
Okay.
out of the trees.
Did I, using the because it's the smart rifle scope, so it's like super long range.
Yeah.
Would I get anything of shape, size? Is it a bird? Is it a squirrel?
I would say, because you did have the smart rifle scope. It's a badass weapon.
Mm.
It's, like I said, quadruped. It burst out. Very dark. Seemed to have a tail. No real discerning features as such. It would move so quickly. It's also probably about the size of 1.5 Bengal tigers.
Bengal tiger specifically.
Or, well, just a big tiger.
Wow.
Yeah. The tiger of which is the largest big cat in the world.
All right, big brain. Jeez.
It's almost like I researched it, just in case.
We're in a safari park.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Better not. Yeah, anyway. And as you hear, like, dum, dum, and it does have that sound of like 4 feet sort of padding around the top, you then begin to hear another noise. There is a sort of a breathing and a clicking above you. Occasionally you hear a what do you do?
It's like a crocodile doing his knitting.
That's the best reference I've ever heard. Have you been looking at my notes?
So I guess I'm gonna just give a hand signal to try and say all guns pointing at the exit entrance. The hole. It's like the only thing it can come through. Surely it can't get through the exterior of our vehicle.
Okay.
Surely.
Can I pick up a gun off the floor, please?
you can reach and let's see what you find, shall we? What's closest to Vig right now?
Ooh.
Could you roll me a D10, please, Vig?
Yeah, sure. Pick up those. Right. 4.
4. What you get is a submachine gun.
Sweet.
Wow.
For your reference, long range.
Okay.
This does 2 D10 damage. It has 4 shots before you have to reload it, of course. The type of wound it does is a gunshot wound, but that's more. And because it's a smaller weapon, it can be held one-handed.
Cool.
I mean, it's one of those smaller submachine guns.
And I've got 4 shots in that.
You got 4 shots. You don't see another magazine near you at the moment. There are like bit scattered, but that's the first thing you grab.
Okay, that's fine. That's something.
You begin to hear other padding on the other side of the ship. It's coming from above you, but now there seems to be another movement towards the side.
Clever girl.
And then the ship sort of shakes a little bit. And then you begin to hear the sound of... You begin to hear the sound. Everyone is silent. You can just hear the rain and these sounds. And just like an awful noise as the ship's sort of shaking slightly. Like metal being pulled at and pried open.
God damn it.
We gotta go.
And where this is coming from, the person who can hear it most is Harper.
Okay.
Because it's coming. And you hear... Have you still got the hand over...
Yep. I'm going to look at Kapoor and kind of look down at... Looking at this thing that he's trapped under.
Yeah.
How quick? Is this going to be a like movement, or is it going to take a while to move this?
It's going to take people to lift it and someone to pull him. Hatchet's there and he's like, oh my god, what the fuck is that?
I'm gonna put my finger to my lips and then go over to the thing to see if I can lift it by myself.
Make a strength check with disadvantage.
Yeah.
And as you go to do that, Hatchet's like, what the fuck is that noise, man? I can't fucking...
And I'm still gonna be like, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
I'm still quite nearby.
You're quite nearby, but you're probably, I'm guessing, did you train your guns to where everyone else is training?
Yeah. I'm aiming at the hole, but I'm also listening to the sounds.
Yeah. Can everyone... Well, we'll do Harper's roll first.
Yeah, no, that's a fail, but it's not a crit fail.
Okay. So you get a point of stress for that, Harper.
Yeah.
Can everyone make me a fear save?
Will anything help us in this time?
Military training, if you've got it, I guess. Keeping cool under pressure.
Am I rolling both of them for
Wilderness survival?
It's just a D100. That's all you got to roll for this.
Just a D100.
Yeah, and get underneath your fear score.
Can I use wilderness survival as well?
Not necessarily for this.
Okay.
I got a 66.
Cool.
Crit success.
You got a crit success.
Yeah, I don't get scared.
With a crit success on a fear save, I'm just gonna take away one stress because there's nothing really other mechanically doing that. But I think it's only fair if you do well on something like a fear save. It's all. Lucky.
Thank you very much.
I just looked at the bit about the android trauma response.
Yeah, we would have been fucked.
Oh
Which
yeah.
is why my fear is so high.
Oh yeah. Everyone is making these fear saves at disadvantage because you're near an android.
Oh god.
So Harper's all right.
That means I have to roll again.
I managed to turn a 46 success into a 92, which is a massive failure.
Hang on, but what wasn't...
Your trauma response for an android is fear saves made by nearby friendly players are at a disadvantage.
Okay, yeah.
So just because you seem so calm about this and you're trying to do this that everyone's a little bit, you know. What did everyone...
It's unsettling.
Yeah. And because you got a crit success, you're so calm about this that you get less stress and everyone's like, what the fuck? So, what do we get? Lucky you failed.
Yep.
Oh god, I've got to bear in mind. Okay. That's a point of stress.
Yep.
Jackal, what did you get?
So I got 50 and my fear score is 56.
Ooh, is that was that with disadvantage?
Yeah, because the second roll was 001.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Vig, what did you get?
Okay, so am I rolling both the D10 and the D100, or
Yeah.
the D20 and the D100? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And you
so
and
I
for this
rolled-
and for this you will take the higher roll.
Okay, so I rolled the D100 already and I had 0. So can I roll this one separately now with the 20?
Oh no, hold on. You got to roll a D100. So give me
Yeah.
the D100 and then D10.
Yeah.
Right. Give me the percentage. So you got 0.
I swear to God, I'm not lying, but I've got 0. Totally. I'll photograph
So that's 100. I believe that's what we said is 100, wasn't it? Yeah.
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 So that would be a critical success. However,
Oh no.
you've got to roll it with disadvantage. So could you roll me again? Could you roll it again, please?
So 2 dice again, yeah?
Yeah. And what'd you get this time?
76.
Oh.
So that's a fail. Okay. So just a point of stress right now. Is it going to lead to
So I'm
anything?
on like 5 stress, right?
5 stress. Okay.
Gosh, I'm getting wild magic flashbacks.
Okay.
You look like you need a smoke, Vig.
And what did you get for your strength check, Harper?
Oh, my strength tests have failed quite badly.
Failed. Oh yes, of course.
Disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With disadvantage, so you failed badly, and you just.
But I
you tr-
didn't crit fail. I just
Yeah,
failed.
yeah. So you're trying, and it's creaking and it's going, and like Vig, you can see Harper trying to lift this thing, and there's a
Can I
moment.
help?
There's a moment when it starts to go, and then it starts to move, and then Hatch is like, as that metallic sound continues, it's like, get this fucking thing off me, man! Get this. What the fuck is that? I can feel there's something's by my foot, man. There's some. Get this fucking thing off me! Get it off me, man! There's something by my
Okay.
foot.
I'm gonna help. I'm gonna try and help pull up the. I'm gonna help Harper to lift the thing off.
Again?
Okay.
Try again.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
This would just be a straight roll. This is a difficult one. So, who are you gifting the straight roll, Vig? So one of you
Yes.
will roll for this. One of you will roll for this.
I think you should roll big because
Okay.
I'm not rolling well.
Right. So I'm just rolling my D100
Just
for this.
yeah. D100.
50.
What's your strength?
45.
And it's you're just trying. They're both trying as it's creaking. He's like, "Quick, get this fucking thing off me, man!" He's struggling. He's like, "Is something? What the fuck? What the fuck is?" Ah! And all of a sudden, he begins. Something grabs him. He buckles like something is grabbing him. He's like, "God! Oh God! Oh God! Something's got me, man! Something! Help! Help!" As he's sort of reaching out for you.
We can't let go of this thing.
You
otherwise
can't
it's
let go
gonna
of that thing.
Crap. Help!
As you can just hear, there's some sound underneath, and he's screaming. And it echoes over this whole thing. So much so, the boom boom on the top begins sort of erratically moving as if it's excitedly hopping backwards and forwards as Hatchet is screaming bloody murder. What is everyone doing?
Well, me and Vic.
You
are
can't do.
holding-
You're there.
We can't-
Yeah, you got it to a
yeah.
certain point,
I mean,
and he's
alright,
grabbing
yeah.
at you. Harper, you feel like Hatchet's like he's trying to grab at your clothing.
I feel like trying to save this guy is wasted effort, but let's go for it. Come on, let's. I'll run along and try and lift with Vig.
Okay, make a speed check,
Character,
please,
right?
Archer.
Okay. 53. It's above my speed.
So take a point of stress.
Okay.
You don't get there in time as you hear
Mhm.
Harper and Vig. You hear a crunch.
Yeah.
Hatchet screams, and you see like blood begin to pour out underneath him, and he's starting to be pulled underneath, and he's screaming and grasping at you. Everyone make a panic check, please.
Wasted effort, like I said.
You got to roll above your current
Sanity?
stress.
Oh, so
This is just your D20.
Right, D20.
D20
Right.
above your stress.
Yep.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
Panic!
Oh no, this is going to be interesting. Let's start. Vig, what did you get?
I got a 6. My stress is 5.
Just, you don't panic. It's difficult. You can feel it because you're trying to hold on to this thing, and you can feel this guy. He's like pulling at you. You don't panic though, because you've got more important things to do right now. A Jackal, what do you do?
I got 15.
You got 15? And that's over your stress. Harper,
Yeah,
what did you get?
I got a 3. That's
Oh,
a little
dear.
bit, yeah.
Okay. Oh, Harper. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, you are now jumpy. Well, you got the reaction jumpy. You gain 1 stress immediately.
Okay. Mhm.
All nearby crew members gain 2 stress.
Oh,
Are we?
Sorry.
What's the definition of nearby?
Where actually, that's interesting. Where did you stay where you were?
I'm still up in kind of the doorway to the cockpit.
I was really far away. I was outside the ship.
whereas I just ran over to you.
If you were in the cockpit, this was on the other side of this thing.
I'm kind of on the threshold to the cockpit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so I reckon you're just outside the range of this. So you just miss out on this. However, Lucky, what did you get?
My current stress is 5 and I rolled a 4.
Could you roll me a D10, please? Lucky.
2.
2. Okay. You're overwhelmed. All actions.
It's so emotional.
All actions for the next 2 minutes, and they could be a very vital 2 minutes, are at disadvantage. Permanently make your minimum stress. Raise your minimum stress by 1.
Ooh.
Okay. I think the most important thing about that is the disadvantage for the next 2 minutes. That's just
Can we get a sticky note?
That's just Lucky.
but
that was what happened to Lucky.
Isn't Lucky a Marine?
Lucky is a Marine.
Lucky is a
And he just
Marine, so
panicked.
therefore.
And Lucky panicked, so everyone has to make a fear save. Plus,
Oh.
you have to do it at disadvantage because...
What?
Oh, actually, you are very lucky. You are very lucky. We just determined that Lucky... You are lucky. We just determined that Frank Day was just out of the range of being nearby, and as such, you don't have to make a fear save because it's any nearby character.
Cool. Okay.
Which means we're not into a marine android panic fear spiral
Yeah.
situation.
Can I make a suggestion as to why everyone freaks out around me?
Go for it.
Is Hatchet screaming?
Yes.
Right. She's just gonna drop what she's got. She's gonna take out her tranquilizer gun and shoot Hatchet with the tranquilizer. She's gonna trank him. Because he's gonna die, so it's probably better that he's like. not-
Jackal is almost relieved at seeing this. Honestly, he's like, "Oh, that's such a good idea." Like, yeah.
Okay.
But just the suddenness of it, of like, and also she has no expression as she does.
Yeah,
it.
it's not comforting.
I
It's
would.
the right
In
thing.
her head, she's
Yeah.
like run through what is the most.
Okay.
What it's gonna say.
I would say, this is brilliant. It's also very humane. A very humane thing to do. Vig, give me a strength check.
Okay.
Because the other person holding this thing just let go. So.
D100.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
You got to roll under your strength.
I got 40. Strength 45.
You do not drop this. Immediately, you feel like the tendons in your arms sort of give as Harper lets go, and immediately pulls out the tranquilizer gun. Just as like Hatchet's starting to go, and you can see blood beginning to fill in his mouth, and you clock him with your tranq pistol, of which you have 6 shots.
Oh, I thought I only had 3.
Shh.
That's it.
There's 6. Oh, actually, was that in your loadout that there's 3? Did it? Right. Okay. So you got 3. So just bear in mind.
Shit.
Okay.
Why did I correct you?
The warden gives and the warden takes away. Okay. I've got to make a body save to see if I do fall unconscious.
Oh, please fall unconscious.
I know. I'd like him to fall unconscious. Oh, hang on. I need to roll sorry, D100. That was D10. Oh yeah, he falls unconscious.
Yeah,
he critically failed, so he's spitting out blood as you.
I mean, thank God. That'd be so horrible if he's also just had a nasty injection while he's like dying from an alien monster. Like...
Where do you just for the
yeah, where do you shoot him?
just for the clarity, where do you get him? Where do you get him?
Probably in the neck.
In the neck. So like he's scrabbling towards you, and you just. He's like. Ah!
Like I'm not gonna aim for like the eye or the.
No.
You know,
But he is like thrashing around, so it's probably like.
Yeah.
But you manage to, and you feel him sort of like loosen his grip, and as he does so, his body yanks slightly before, with a crunch of the plate armor and stuff that you guys. He disappears underneath that piece of metal. Vig with it catches you off, and you sort of drop your hands, and it goes boom, and you hear the sounds of something being pulled outside, and not pleasantly, and crunching, and Hatchet's gone. He is no longer there. There's just blood where he was.
I'm with these guys, right?
Yeah, you ran into. You just got to this point now, and now
is there
like
a hole in the ship where Hatchet went out?
You cannot see the hole because it all happened where you couldn't see it. So it got him underneath. So this metal that Vig was lifting up has almost dropped down over it.
Harper's gonna, after doing this pretty fucking horrific thing, she's just gonna look around at everyone and just put her finger to her lips again. Just, you know, add a bit more fucking creepiness.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you know my special skill for trauma response? Once per session, you may take advantage of a panic check. How does that actually work? And what do we class as a session?
So a session will be like this session. So just say I ask you to make a panic roll and you fail it, you can sort of say, I'm going to use my trauma response to give it another roll, and you can only roll it twice. You know, you might succeed it then, so you just get advantage on it. But bear that in mind, because there could be a lot of options for panic in this.
Yeah.
Does that mean that next session?
Next session, it will reset.
Again?
It will reset for him.
Just
So,
not for the whole game. It's
yeah,
just
not for it's not like a one-use thing. It's just every session. Hatchet's gone and everything falls quiet again. Like like something is dragged away in the distance. You know, whatever the one that was next to the ship seemingly sort of moves away, but above. Boom,
Okay.
Boom. Something's
I'm
still
gonna
above.
I'm gonna go ahead and say to Vig, as quietly as I can, right next to him, whispering. I'm gonna be like, "Okay, look, this isn't nice, but if they're eating Hatchet, that might be our best time to get away."
I tend to agree.
If we're gonna do this stealthily, now's the time. Otherwise, it's gonna be a combat encounter.
What the fuck?
Boss.
What the fuck just happened?
What the fuck do you think just happened, dude? We crashed and now there are monsters. Come on, keep up.
And you see like Kapoor, you see Kapoor like going, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh Jesus. Okay, and she's got a pistol, so like, and you see them all just pick up weapons.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to spread around the information as quietly as I can and be like, right now, we're moving now.
Harper's gonna look around and say, who can run? Can everyone run?
There are some people who have broken legs, right? Like.
Now. Such a fun game. I love Mothership. It's amazing. You know, Tank had a badly injured leg. He was stumbling on it. He was on it. He was stable on it. The rest of them look pretty battered and bruised, but maybe a sprain here or there. But they can move. The Tank is the only one.
Lucky's kind of looking down towards Jackal and maybe too far away to whisper, but kind of gesturing down towards Smashed Avocado and towards some of the other people that didn't quite make it. And just
I look back at Lucky and just.
I look at.
I'm trying to mime fishing
Jackal.
and bait and stuff. I'm like,
I look at Jackal and go.
the audio-only version of this is going to be great.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Big
Yeah. This
shrugs his shoulders resignedly.
Smashed avocado. So we could potentially use that poor kid to escape. Yeah.
Brunch.
And there are others. Somebody's got the bingo card of who didn't quite make it.
Okay, what do we think, gang? Do we think we should be focusing on?
Do that.
We got all the snacks for monsters.
Including that lovely sort of just artwork I found, so that they knew the faces of people who died.
I love this.
Do we think we should be focusing on stealth or speed to get away from these guys? Because if we're to be fast and loud or quiet and slow, like
I say distraction is probably the best.
I think if we run, it's a question of who runs the slowest to provide the distraction.
well, this is it. If
Yeah.
like, do we? Even if we provide a distraction, we still have to decide whether we're going to try and go fast and loud or quiet and slow. Fast and loud.
I think quiet and slow, because
Personally, I would prefer to try. It's also less likely to draw them away from the distraction. The distraction is going to be more effective if we try and stay quiet.
Also, our hole we could roll a distraction out of is the same hole that we have to leave through.
Which is partially, there is a bit of water in there as well, so it is sort of mud.
So,
and
that's impossible to stay. Wait, no, it's raining. How loud is the storm?
It's you can hear it quite loudly on top. You can hear like the thunder and the loud, so that might give you.
I think the storm will cover us exiting as long as we're careful. Then, yeah.
Do you think what we could do? We could shut off the cockpit and smash the window of the cockpit because there's a body in there.
Who's volunteering to do that then?
I'm a robot. I hate people.
Okay, so are we coming up with this plan that Harper's going to smash the windshield and then run and join us, exiting slowly and quietly out the hole?
But what's your maximum speed?
42.
Whoa!
That's not bad, actually.
Mine is 45.
That is better than 42.
Okay, you guys are doing the kind of staying there till the last minute bit of the plan then.
Yeah, my speed's 31. I am not.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I shouldn't have even
That
tried to
was
say
my
that.
friend. If anyone's going to be my friend to a monster, it might be me.
Fair enough.
You okay with this, Robert?
Yeah, we're the Sonic team. I'm okay with this.
So what's the plan?
I'll be Tails.
I believe the plan is for Vig to smash the windshield while we all try and creep out the side, and he's going to try and join us as quietly and fast as he can.
I think
And we're going to try and
Lucky's
sneak
going to
out.
help tank. Like, kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
Get
think-
out.
be bolstering him, but trying to be in the middle of the pack as we go.
Yeah.
So we don't fall to the back.
Yeah. You see Tank
this
sort of
one-
like he grabs like just like a. Actually, it might be no, it won't be that big. He grabs something to just sort of stick in between his teeth so he can grit his teeth as he's moving, so he doesn't make a sound.
And I am leading. I will say I'm leading.
So
Okay.
the
I'm waiting for
windshield-
the sound. As soon as
NPCs
I
at the
hear,
back.
as soon
NPCs
as I
at the
hear
back.
that windscreen
Yeah.
smash, I'm starting to creep out.
So you're near the sort of the hole that is partially. You'd have to. You can see looking down into it. You're going to have to. I mean, you can't quite see how deep it is, but maybe knee to waist height, possibly. You would surmise. You're going to have to drop down and slowly wade out of this to get to the bank. You can. And Vig, you would know that the bank wasn't too far away. And Harper, you've seen it. That you are literally on the bank, but you're going to have to wade through some swamp water to do this.
By the door of the cockpit, is there something we can use to brace it? So once you closed it, we can brace the cockpit door. Like,
You could
you
find
know.
something. I mean, there was a large piece of metal that was on top of you when you were stood by it, so you could take some of the debris, possibly.
yeah, I think.
Jam the door.
You reckon? Because we could, if we like crack the door, smash the window, make a load of shit ton of noise, and then brace the door and fucking book it. Do you think that's the plan?
Okay, Robert, let's do it.
Okay, I'm quite happy to take the lead because
Okay. So the steps in this, it seems like almost there's two groups doing things. Lucky you're staying with Archer, aren't you? As the
Yeah.
team is moving down.
Yeah.
So we'll deal with that in a minute. So are you going at the same time? Or is
I think we should start moving first. Wait until you hear the going towards the noise, and then you guys start moving.
Yeah.
You think?
Yes.
Look at Vince's face.
I love it. I love it.
Can I suggest? I suppose we don't want to get anybody outside the craft until the distraction happens, do we?
We don't even want to get outside the craft until we know the distraction has taken effect.
Okay.
Like, so
Okay.
yeah,
We want to hear all those crocodiles knitting at the front of the.
yeah.
Wow.
As soon as we can hear them scuttling and moving their position to
Yeah.
investigate the sound,
Yeah.
we know it's worked.
Snacking on the.
Can I shoot the cockpit window out so I don't have to go into the cockpit?
Yeah. Mhm.
The cockpit window, just for a point of reference, the cockpit window was pretty shattered anyway.
Okay.
So shooting it isn't. It's not going to go. You're probably going to have to push this out. You know what I mean? Like when you have like a windscreen and it shatters, you're gonna have to. If you want that cockpit window gone, you've got to push it.
But maybe the noise is all you need.
Maybe.
You know, we don't have to like open the Happy Meal for them and like unwrap the
Right.
burger. Like we can just wait. We can just make a noise and be like, look,
Okay. So what?
there's a toy in here too. Like,
Okay. So what are we doing?
Do we want to go with this windshield plan, or do we want to just throw Avocado under what Hatchet went under, like, and just run off as soon as he's under and they're nomming on Avocado's body?
I think the windshield idea. I'm gonna try shooting first, and then if shooting doesn't work, then
Maybe
I'll go in and
moving
on shit.
moving Avocado into the cockpit,
Ooh.
because then there's more snacks up front
Good point.
to keep them
Yes.
distracted for longer.
This is
Yeah.
so dark.
And you've got like a vegetable on the side as well, you know. Avocado's a vegetable. I don't know.
They're fruit, aren't they?
Fruit.
I don't know. It's a fruit that cosplays as a vegetable, as far as I'm concerned.
What if I just poke my head round the door of the cockpit, bang the wall 10 times with my crowbar, we come back inside, we brace the door, and then we go?
Sounds good. I'm up for that.
Are you putting Avocado in there? I need this to be clear.
We're not putting avocado.
No one puts avocado in the cockpit.
I don't work at you.
God. God.
No, I don't think so.
I'm glad I didn't
Do
call
you-
the
do
pilot
we-
toast.
I just think that if we move avocado as well, that's just yet another roll that could go wrong.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
will make a
Yeah.
noise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't get you to roll for putting him in there.
Oh.
Oh,
The
right,
other
okay.
the other thing, the other parts of the plan could be a roll.
I think the more we can put in there, so they gorge on the starters before they get to the main course, is going to help us as the
I
main
think you're
course
right.
trying to run away.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
you're right.
Ooh.
As long as our
What
distraction
if
works.
we use avocado to prop the door closed, so when they bust through the door, there's immediately a snack on the other side?
Ooh.
A surprise! A surprise snack!
It's like a
We're not
Kinder
trying
egg.
to- yeah, we're not trying to give them a
Yeah.
Kinder egg. Like,
So my review of the Heston Blumenthal restaurant that just opened is
It's like when you're opening a box of chocolates and you think you finished it and then you lift it up and you realise there's another layer.
Okay. Okay. My God.
let's just put him in the cockpit.
Okay,
there's
players.
people,
Players.
but there's other bodies as
Players.
well.
What's
Sorry,
your
former
plan?
colleagues.
What's your plan? Because these things, the padding is getting more frequent.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
top.
So,
Yeah.
Vig, are you gonna try and shoot it, or are you just gonna kick it?
I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna bang on the inside wall to the cockpit.
Oh.
They can see that there's meat inside.
Mhm.
They're
Okay.
gonna bust through and eat my best friend.
Okay.
We're gonna get avocado, and then we're just gonna tilt him over in front of the door, and then we're gonna sneak out whilst the buffet is happening.
Maybe
Okay.
we can also just shove like Bossa Nova.
Bossa
Who's not
Nova.
called that? Mullet. Bossa
Baronova.
Nova.
He had Bullet was his name.
Mullet. That was the one. We could shove him because he's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just checking.
Bullet. Yeah, yeah.
We could
Bullet.
shove him down towards where that other dude was.
The top half of him was crushed.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yes.
trying to say about avocado. Put him through the
Put one at
hole
the.
that hatchet went through.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, there's a distraction at each end, as it were.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think keep it in one location makes it easier, as far as I'm aware. I think. I feel like we're already so like 10 steps to this plan. Like,
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Snacks in the cockpit.
All
And
of
I'm
them.
all for recycling, but I don't think we need to like maximize all of our bodies, all of
Okay.
our like, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
If anybody has any weapons that might be useful.
You begin to hear more sounds from the side where Hatchet
right,
disappeared.
okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I will assist with the.
Come on, Robert, help me with the corpse.
The dip.
yeah. Oh, have I not picked up a gun yet? By the way,
I did.
I did, but I didn't get a nice little explanation of what it was like Matt did.
Oh, I see. I see. What did you pick up? Did you say?
I don't
you
know.
picked up?
No,
roll-
I just said I pick up a gun.
Roll me a d5, please, Eliot.
Okay. 4.
Okay. Well, you got a submachine gun as well.
Oh, sweet.
Are there any like sidearms on the ground that I can pick up because I want something in my side pocket?
Okay. You want more weapons. You have another plan. Okay. What do you want to concentrate on first?
How
Let's
about
get over
your
this thing.
team avocado and team pick up some guns and get everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay. If you split into two, then you could possibly pick up a couple of guns. The rest of the Marines that are still there, they have weapons. You don't have to worry about that. But there is weapons dotted around. So if you want a team getting the hell out of here, of which lucky you won't be able to do it because you've got tank. You won't be able to do the search. So
Okay.
Jackal will be the one that will get any other potential weapons.
Okay.
Before you go, so you could just pick up a couple, you know,
Yeah.
on your way out. Because Harper and Vig are enacting the plan. So if you want to roll me 2 more d5s, please. I'll allow. Seeing as Jackal, seeing as you're focused, you're going to pick up a couple more things.
Okay. Got 1 and a 3.
Okay, you pick up a combat shotgun,
Oh.
of which I'll give you the details after the show, and a 1, which you pick up a smart rifle.
Cool.
The other smart rifle that the platoon had, one of which Lucky has one. That was part of Lucky's gear. I believe, Lucky, you've got a smart rifle, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you had a long. So it's a long range weapon. That
Yeah.
You don't need to be prone to fire it, but it does help. But, yeah. Okay, so while he picks up a couple of things, Lucky, you're ready.
Mhm. Tank
Tank is there. Who's moving first? Vig and Harper. Talk me through this.
Right.
Okay.
The bodies are in. The bodies are in. If you wanted to move
Bodies
them.
are in. Okay. Right.
So, are you going to put Avocado against the door after I hit the wall with the crowbar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think-
So
Or
Eileen,
have you got better strength than me?
I have strength of 45.
Ooh, and mine is like, oh, hang on, 33. So maybe I should do the bashing and you do the moving.
Do you want to use my crowbar?
You're also going to, Vig, you would know you had to pull this door open. It took a bit, so you're going to have to push it closed properly.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
That will be the roll, probably. That will probably be
Right.
the roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I give Harper my crowbar so she can make maximum amount of noise against the wall.
Okay. And she's
Harper, I will
I
expect
could-
a speed roll, because you're going in to make the noise, yes? How far in the cockpit
I'm
are you going?
leaning in.
You're leaning in.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, okay, maybe that does need a... If you're not going... If you
She probably has some like alarm protocols. Do you know what I mean? Like, warning, Android is reversing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as she backs out of the room, the whole room lights up.
I am slightly concerned that they'll get stuck on or something and we'll be crawling
Yeah,
through the
okay,
swamp
I'll-
with you going,
I'll-
warning.
Okay.
Then do it. Get out.
So they're prepped. The rest of the Archer, you're at the front. You're ready to drop down into the swamp. Who's going after? Because Vig and Harper will be bringing it there at the back. They'll be the last to leave the ship. Unless, Archer, you give any orders to any of your other troops.
What, in terms of order to leave?
Mhm. If you want one of them to stay back to make sure Harper and Vig get out, you can give that order. And it would be the workbench, volatile, or majestic. They're left. Or Vig and Harper. Leave at the back.
I feel like I'll tell Majestic to make sure that Vig and Harper get out.
So Majestic is the last to leave. Okay. And he's got there, and you see he's got like a sort of pulse rifle.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. So he's just sort of got it. He's almost got it trained, but not quite pointing it at Harper and Vig. As you're ready to move, Harper, you lean in with the crowbar. And as you lean in, you look out and you can see slightly a bit more movement outside the window, so you know there's other things out there. You give it a good...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it a really good wallop.
Okay. Well then, give me a strength check just to see how loud this is. You won't get stressed for this. This will not be stressed. You won't get stressed for this. This is just a narrative.
Oh, sorry.
God, this is so tense.
Oh, high is bad, right?
Yeah.
75.
Okay. So you don't completely mess it up. You don't get any stress. And you just you're trying to, because of all the trees that are in here, it's hard to find something to get an actual sound. So Vig, you can see that Harper's trying, and eventually the sound happens, like the bang, 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 bang. And it's at that point that the sound above you stops.
Again.
Let's get back.
Are you doing it again?
Well, it's just stopping. They haven't moved.
No,
they just stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Bang, 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 bang. Boom, boom, boom. Slowly, seems to you moving towards the cockpit. You think you can see.
Can I see them?
You can't see above you, Harper. You can't see the thing that is approaching from above. But you certainly see a shape coming from ahead that darts out of that is moving,
it's moving
towards.
Quick.
It's moving quick to sort of.
Right, shut the door. We're going.
The door.
Make a strength check, Vig.
What am I rolling? D20.
Yeah. This would be a D100. Make a strength check. You got, yeah.
10.
Cool. You rolled a 10.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Then, was that D100? Was that
Yeah.
both dice? Bloody hell. He's absolutely smashed it.
Oh no, sorry, I haven't rolled the other one. Beg your pardon.
Okay. Oh, well,
I got a 6.
Oh, well, 16. 16 is still. Yeah. As Harper, you see something boom, boom, begin, and it launches. The rest of you feel a shake. And the last thing you see is something large and dark begin smashing against this windscreen, Harper, as you step back, and Vig pulls you before you can get a good view on it. Vig pulls you back and just starts with a, and you can hear like the smashing and the tearing of something getting in the cockpit. It's time to go.
I'm just gonna be like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm moving. As soon as Vig was started shutting that door, I was creeping out.
As Archer, you drop down into the swamp, and you sink down into it, and you're moving very. How quickly are you moving?
I am prioritizing lack of sound over speed of movement.
Yeah, and as you drop down in the water, you can see that like the rain hitting the water, which you definitely can tell is like, you're moving sort of. It's hard going against the feet, and the rest of the platoon drop down into it. I mean, lucky you dropped down into it. And Tank's he's a big fella. He was big, so it's hard work. But you drop down into it, and you begin slowly moving out as this thing starts.
I'm going to say to a couple of the others, like maybe Majestic and maybe
Majestic's sort of like he's got his gun pointed at the door.
To be kind of like, just stay round us. We've got to keep this guy safe.
Yeah.
He's a hero.
And you say that just before you just hear "Argh!" as Tank's like gritting his teeth, and you move down into the swamp water.
Come on, big guy. Let's go.
The rest, Workbench and Volatile, they follow outwards as well with their weapons sort of trained, immediately sort of looking backwards. Harper and Vig, which one of you's going down into the water first?
Vig, you go first.
Okay. I'll go first.
As you immediately, it strikes you, Vig, how cold this is. Just very, very, very chilly. You don't have as thick lining as the rest of the Marines. You've got a flight suit on, for God's sake.
Is it waterproof?
Yeah, it's waterproof, but still, you feel it. And your boots squelch against the swamp. And Harper, like you see, sort of Majestic sort of pointing, going, go, now.
Okay, I'm going.
Yeah.
As you begin to hear boom against the door, boom, and like one hit, immediately you see the door begin denting inwards.
Come on, Robert. Come on.
Yeah, as Majestic sort of pushes you through, and you step out, and soon Majestic follows shortly after you. Harper, as you hear like, you can hear the wrenching and the metal, and the whole thing is shaking. Archer, as you leave and you turn back, and making
yeah,
sure.
I want to get a good look.
Yeah.
Make sure that
As the ship is sort of being rocked, and above you, like the lightning, the rain is coming down thick. As you beckon the rest of the troops as they pass you, and you're sort of looking up at this drop ship, and you see it at first where the cockpit is. Something big. You can't quite see, but you can see what looks like a tail sort of flicking out of the hole. Something is in that cockpit and something is moving about. And you hear like these weird screeches. And other creatures begin just appearing. There's about another 2 that appear on top of the ship. And both of those are like same size, but they're sort of looking around at the ship and they seem to be sniffing. These things are big and you can't quite see right now, and it's only when the light flashes that you get a shot of this creature. As I said, built quadruped, built like a tiger and a half, all muscle, but it has sort of like a larger sort of upper torso, and you can see it sort of like large claws. The back half of it, as it lights up, you see it almost like a thick, it's almost like a lizard-like skin to it, but like the top half is almost like a giant sort of, almost like a lion's mane, dark thick fur on the top, and from the top of that fur there's a head and a snout that protrudes outwards. You can't quite see the details at the moment, but you do see at one point like one of them like sniffing around, and as it does so, it sort of it does a strange alien bark, and as it does, you see like the bottom jaw opens up like mandibles, like it's got like a mandible jaw and a large sort of almost like a claw-like bit that comes together. And you see it has several different eyes which are all... One thing you notice, it's not interested in you guys. It just seems to be sniffing around, and you and the rest of you turn around and sort of see this now as you get behind Archer, and you see that one of them sort of drop down into the swamp water, but then seemingly see a flash of it disappear in the doorway that you came out of, and another one appears. There seems to be like there's 4 or 5 of these things at the moment, just sort of like all barking around. And
do we get a sense that they could easily notice us if they cared to look, or is it just they have noticed us and they don't care?
These ones don't seem to care, but there's one more. A larger version. Bears the same sort of markings, but almost twice the size. And it has large tusks coming from the sides as well. And almost like bone-like protrusions that run from the top of its head down its spine. And it just seems to be stood there on the top of the dropship as the rest of them are scuttling inside and seemingly getting whatever's inside the ship, as the big one is just looking at you all, and it's just stood there observing as the lightning.
I think stealth is out the window.
And that's where we're going to end the first part of Endangered.
Oh my god.
That's a big boy.
Oh my god.
Maybe he just wants to talk.
Maybe. You gotta love Mothership. Welcome to the show, everyone. We hope you're here. And thank you to my wonderful players. Brilliantly played.
Oh my god.
I hope I put you on the edge of your seat.
That was wicked.
So good.
So much fun.
And we've only just started. We're putting the survival in survival horror on this one. And thank you so much to my wonderful players, because they were all brilliant, these characters. We want to see them live. We want to see them live, don't we? Yeah.
Oh boy, it's harder than I thought it would be to stay alive.
Yeah, and it's only going to get more intense and dramatic, and we hope you enjoyed the first part of this game. We thoroughly enjoyed playing it, unless my players tell me how much they hate me in about 5 minutes when I start the recording. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like us. If you enjoyed this game, please like and subscribe, as I said. Thank you very much to Tabletop Audio, who are responsible for the creepy music and audio playing during this game. And if you want to check out more Safe Space podcasts and shows, look, you can find them in this YouTube channel, as well as on lawbreaker.podbean.com, where you can find all. If you want to see a different kind of crazy, creepy horror story, then you should check out the main campaign. But don't look, this. You've got to come back next week to see what happens, because I cannot wait to torment these players. But these wonderful players, who I immediately love very much. Where can people find you online, etc.? Let's start from the top. Lizzie.
You can find me on Twitter at Lizzie Boyle Says.
Yes.
That's probably it.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Melmo Comics is my handle on everything. So Twitter, Instagram, I think that's it pretty much. So Milmo with one L, comics, one word.
Nice. Eliot.
I have a YouTube page for my music and stuff. It's just Eliot Red, 1L, 1T.
Nice. And Matt.
You can find me on the Measure of a Fan Twitter account. I don't know what the...
There will be links. There's going to be links. Check out the links down in the show notes.
Also, my Twitter handle, which is able_albatross, where you can torment me night and day.
Wonderful. And I'll be looking forward to tormenting these players once again next week. Follow us on social media at Safe Space RPG. And yeah, it's good to be back playing this game. And let's see. They need all the help they can get, but I think it's quite clear after the first session. It's quite clear that they're a silly bunch, but that doesn't mean that I can't scare them. So we'll find out next week who really is the endangered species on this planet. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.